Hi, my name is nerdynightly, and I would like to use Calendar, but I only have one wife. So, if you would like to help me use Calendar, we would like for you to reach out to us. Join a throuple with us. Link up so that I can safely use the last super dangerous ter'angreal on the planet. I can't do it with only one woman. I need two. That is the excuse that I'm making for the future threesomes that I will be having. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you after these titles. That is right. Welcome back to the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The book club. My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the full book recap for The Gathering Storm, the 12th book in the Wheel of Time. The 13th book that we've read.
Yeah, I just want to put it on record that I didn't know that that was the intro we were going with today. But you know what? I'm not surprised. Nobody is at this point.
Come on, that was fun.
No, that was very funny.
That was a good bit.
That was very funny.
It helps that we have a pretty dope calendar.
Yes, we do.
Look at that. Dangerous ladies in Toronto. Can't even get it all in frame. They did an excellent job at making this for us, and we're very grateful.
Yeah, we're going to hang it under the map over there of Randland.
Yeah.
What's up, chat? How you doing?
What's up, chat? How you doing? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a full book recap, a stream at the end of a book where we talk about the book and mostly just answer your questions, talk about some bed bond balefires. Mm-hmm. We'll rank it. We'll put it in a list. We'll try and remember our rankings of previous books, which I think I can mostly get right, but I don't know.
Questionable. I don't remember when anything happens. Also,
no.
Blue, I'm so sorry. I personally apologize for that one.
Yeah. Good morning. Clarus, how you doing?
I'm good. Good. We got some friends.
Yeah, so
in town.
If you remember, if you're a longtime watcher of the pod, my buddy Robbie has flown up for the weekend. And so my voice is a little shot because we were at Canada's Wonderland yesterday, and I was doing a little yell on the roller coasty. I was doing a little woo-woo and going roller coasty woo-woo. You know what I mean? And it was a good time. We were having a blast. It's very fun. If you've never been to Canada's Wonderland, I highly recommend it.
Yes, good times. They've got like the steepest roller coaster dive in North America or whatever. It's fucking fantastic.
Arzu Kashefapor, thank you so much for gifting 5 Nerdy Nightly memberships.
Thank you, Arzu. I appreciate that.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Yeah, so
yeah, fair to wound, I was going full ooh woo.
Nailed it.
Blue, oh my god, it's a battle. They're battling it out again. It must be Friday. Thank you, Blue.
It must be. Blue, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate that. Yeah. Some of you might remember Robbie popped in one of our book 4 book clubs because we were in Calgary.
Robbie has finished the Wheel of Time.
Yes. He knows who killed Asmodean.
I still fucking don't, Brando.
It's probably
Sando.
Varen.
It probably was Varen.
Honestly.
At this point.
At this point.
What didn't Varen do in this franchise?
She's just carrying the whole thing. She's like, I'm too old for this shit. Give me that poison.
Yeah. Isn't Canada's Wonderland just what you call your bedroom?
No, that's too long.
No, it's too long.
Too long.
Yeah.
Gotta shorten it somehow. Like, that's a mouthful, you know?
Yeah, no, Canada's Wonderland is child-friendly. Our bedroom is not. Our bedroom is an adult-only space. Yeah. Call it the dungeon.
But it's on the top floor.
Doesn't mean it can't be a dungeon.
Jesus Christ.
And I am the dungeon master. Clarus. Clarus, we've had a lot go on in the last week. It's been a big week.
What?
It's been a fun week.
What you talking about?
We finally announced our final member of the Roleplay Relay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys heard it first, but it's
and so we are going to be doing a big stream on Monday. Guys, we are launching a Kickstarter on Monday for the Roleplay Relay.
Oh, you're
Book Club gets it first. That's how we always do it.
Book Club gets it first.
We're launching the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's already public. You can if you go to Kickstarter and search Roleplay Relay, you can save it and be notified when it goes live.
Oh, that's very cool.
The Roleplay Relay, we're launching the Kickstarter on Monday. I want to be very clear. We do not need your money. We will be doing this no matter what. We're going to be creating this content for free for people. But if you want to do something like create a magic item that we have to use in the game, name an NPC, if you want to go crazy and take the biggest thing on there, which is name the big bad, you can come in and make the Bugbear Emperor that I've created for my little game that I'm forcing my friends to miserably suffer through for 168 straight hours. You can come and name things and be part of that stream in that way. There will be rewards where you will get a signed poster from the whole cast.
Yes,
there's
going
postcards.
to be really sick art. We have one of Canada's top artists working with us.
Our artist, Gabe Sapienza, has drawn for Marvel and DC. He's going to create some incredible stuff for us. And so Monday morning, we're going to do a morning show. We're going to drop the Kickstarter. Yes. It's going to be a fun morning, so come join us live for that.
11 a.m. Eastern.
There will be a little video introducing all the members of the cast. And I hope that might be fun for some people. Dakuna, thank you for dropping the Kickstarter link in the chat. Feel free to go give that a pre-save so you know when it's going live.
So you know, yeah.
Other big thing that happened this week is I got an advanced copy of a game this week.
Yeah.
I want to say a huge thank you to Blizzard, a game company that is my whole childhood. The number of hours that I've put into Diablo 2 are probably unhealthy.
I don't know if I've ever played a Blizzard game.
Wild.
I know.
Wild. Because
I know.
I probably am an expert at Diablo 2. I've probably put my 10,000 hours in.
Yeah.
And so I was very lucky to get an Ultimate Edition copy of Diablo 4. So we're going to be doing a Sunday night and Monday night stream of that here on the channel before that game goes live for everybody on Tuesday. And I want to say thank you to Blizzard for sending me that code. I am very grateful.
Yes.
Diablo is the video game I spent the most time in my life. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Colonel Sanders yells Baldur's Gate. That's later in the summer. We will get to Baldur's Gate when we get to Baldur's Gate.
We'll get there hopefully soon because that game looks sick.
Is there any other housekeeping?
No.
We haven't seen Spider-Verse yet, so don't talk about Spider-Verse until tomorrow. We've not seen it.
We're seeing it after book club.
Yeah.
So, we can't go 5 hours because we'll miss our show, but we can go our usual 3.
Yeah.
You know, because somehow this turned into a 3-hour show.
Yeah, that was like a year ago. Get used to it. The links in the chat, I believe, are for the splits for Towers of Midnight. So if you want to have a say in how we break down our watch of Towers of Midnight, please click on that. Finally, before we get into your questions, I do want to mention we have our schedule for the rest of the year for the book club.
Yes.
I'm just going to lay it out really quickly so that everybody's up to speed. We are going to be doing the Towers of Midnight until the end of July. Then in August, we are going to be doing 2 episodes of the television show a week so that we can have reactions and re-reactions up for season 1 before the season 2 goes live the first week of September. We're going to spend September and October covering the show every Friday morning with y'all. And then we will be starting A Memory of Light as the week after that is done. Probably the last week of October, first week of November. It might be a Halloween stream. We might be in cosplay. It might be fun.
Who knows?
We'll be doing Memory of Light through the end of the year, which will be probably a 6 split plus a full book recap plus a full series recap stream. So we'll probably be doing 8 sections for Memory of Light. That will take us to the end of the year. And then in January, we're going to cover Murtagh, the new Christopher Paolini book.
Yeah, so, we're going to do we might cover a little bit of the actual series.
Yeah.
Because it's been a while since both of us have read it. So we're super excited for that. We also are probably going to fit in a tier list, ranking stream sometime before the last book. We'll see how the schedule falls into place.
Yeah.
It might be on a different day. It might not be in the book club slot. Yeah. But I think it'll be fun to do before and after the series.
Amboss says Friday morning means this time slot, right? Yes, no matter where you are in the world, what time it is now, as of 12 minutes ago from now.
Yes.
That is when we will start all of those streams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, unless daylight savings happens and we change, but you don't. Sorry, I know that's confusing.
Fuck, I forgot about daylight savings.
I know.
I hate daylight savings.
It's
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's get into your questions. Chat. The first question of the morning is Sharon Scout, who asks, kind of a random question, but if you produced a musical with the characters of Wheel of Time as the actors, which musical would you adapt, and what roles would Rand, Min, etc. play?
Oh my god.
I already know what this is.
Oh.
It's so easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's company. Because Rand is Bobby.
Uh-huh.
Avienda, Min, and Elaine are his 3 women.
Yeah.
And then Perrin and Fail are a couple. Cadsuane is the ladies who lunch.
Jesus Christ.
It's all couples, right? So you have Matt and I'm cutting Tuon, so it's Matt and Aludra are one of the couples. They're the couple that does
Tuon didn't make the cut.
No, but I'm not joking. Matt and Aludra are the couple that does karate in their living room. Cadsuane is. Have you never seen Company?
No.
Oh
I know
my
some
god!
of the music from it, but I haven't seen it.
No, like literally, Randland Company. It works so much better than you think it should. Matt and Aludra are a couple. Perrin and Fail are one of the couples because it's 4 couples, Bobby and 3 women. Like it works so well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, damn. I guess Sondheim knew read the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
It's like
Bobby,
this.
come on over for dinner.
Yeah.
We'll be so glad to see you. Bobby, come on over for dinner. It'll just be the 3 of us. Only the 3 of us. We love. And then the elevator's going down.
How many times have you seen Company?
You. Phone rings, door chimes. In comes Company.
Sharon, this is your fault. I just want that on record.
Arzik Shefapor, thank you so much for that super chat. Aragon reread stream first, please. I don't know if we'll do a full reread stream, but maybe we might do something.
I want to.
I want to do a reread, so maybe we'll do like maybe like once a month. Because, you know what? We won't be doing really like book club during the show. We could read a book a month through the end of the year. And do like Monday morning, like Aragon reread book club.
Oh,
we could do an additional book club.
Oh.
But it's a book we've already read. I think we would get through it pretty fast. I don't think it would be very hard.
Oh no, yeah. Like we could do those in like 2 splits if we really wanted to. Because I really want to reread them. Like I'm super down to do that.
I'm just saying we could do Monday, Friday book club. There'd be a lot of book club, but Monday, Friday book club. We could start it in August because we won't be reading anything.
True.
We could do August. We could do the whole series August, September, October. And then finish that book series before Memory of Light.
Okay.
We could.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind having some reading to do.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. We do have to be conscious of, like, there's going to be 2 weeks where we're traveling. That's, like, we're not going to really be able to do it.
I'm not saying we have the show every week, but
yeah.
we do the reading over it. And we do, like, every, 2 weeks we do a morning show where we just talk about the 4 Aragon books.
Yeah.
I don't want to do splits. I just want to do 1 stream per book.
Oh, only 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, they're kind of chunky books.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk through the whole thing. We've read them. Nothing. There's not going to be any theorizing or surprises. It's just going to be like, this was what stood out on your 15th reread and on my 3rd.
It would probably be like my 34th reread or something.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
That might be a fun way to do it, ours. We'll think about it.
There is an Aragon channel in the Discord. It's called Dragon with an E.
Mm-hmm.
We'll chat about it there.
What musical would you do? I laid out my whole thing.
I don't know if I can beat that. Like,
I don't know how that came to me. That I didn't pre-think about this. That just was off the top of my head. I was like, wait, Bobby has 3 women.
That is very impressive. I'm trying to think of another musical that has 3 women. Oh, just throwing the most powerful triangle around.
Rand on top of Dragon Mount singing Being Alive instead of Veins of Gold. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody know me too well.
It's too perfect.
Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Being alive.
I don't
make me confused.
I'm seriously thrown off by how perfect it is, and I'm mad about it. Like actually that would be. We should do that.
And Ladies Who Lunch.
We should produce that.
And I'll dye my hair red.
Yeah.
Ladies Who Lunch is the perfect Cadsuane song too.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll drink to that.
No, it's literally it works too good, and I'm I'm.
Does anybody wear a hat anymore?
I can't process it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And another 100 people just step off of the train. Anyway, I
don't know. I literally can't
Okay. We'll move on then, because I crushed it. And
You
Clarus
did. I honestly
gets a
like.
goose egg. I am winning today's stream. What?
Sorry, I'm just reading it.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to come up with something. Problem is, like, I don't know that many.
Quietly reading is really good podcast content.
Yeah, I know. That's why people watch our chapter reactions.
Wheel of Time fan edit asks, the title of this video, where would you rank this book amongst all 13 reads so far? Clarus. I went first last time. Where would you rank this book?
Right now, honestly, I would put it number 2.
I'm saying tied for 2.
Okay.
I got Shadow Rising in 1.
Yeah, Shadow Rising is still my favorite.
And then I think I've got Lord of Chaos and The Gathering Storm kind of sharing the 2-3 slot.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
What's after that? That's tough. After that gets a little bit hard.
Yeah, because I'm like, when the fuck does things happen again?
I think that I would go Eye of the World, Gathering Storm, Lord of Chaos are kind of like they share a vibe to me. Then 4 I would put Dragon Reborn. 5 I would put Eye of the World. 6 I would put.
You said Eye of the World already.
No, I did not. 1 is Shadow Rising.
Yeah.
2 is Gathering Storm and Dragon Reborn.
You didn't say Shadow Rising. You said Eye of the World.
Oh, sorry.
I was like.
I was thinking further on my list, but trying to talk about something higher.
Yeah.
And then so Dragon Reborn is in 4.
Yeah.
And then Eye of the World is in 5. Fires of Heaven is in 6. The Great Hunt is in 7. And then, but where does New Spring go? Because I really like New Spring. I'd probably put New Spring above Fires of Heaven. So I'd probably go Eye of the World, New Spring, Fires of Heaven, The Great Hunt, and then the Slog. Then everything below that is like...
It doesn't matter.
Then there's like the muddle of the Slog, and then the last one is Crossroads of Twilight.
Yes, 1,000%. Yeah. But I think for me, like, I think that The Gathering Storm is number 2.
Crown of Swords is above the rest of the Slog. I would probably go Crown of Swords.
That one is, I was looking at our bookshelf too. That one is huge.
Yeah.
That is a hefty fucking book. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
But yeah, I do think that it is a step above the other sloggy books for sure.
Mm-hmm. But it's tough, right? Because like when I look back on the Slog, there's moments that I love. Like I do not think Winter's Heart is a very good book on its own.
Yeah.
I love the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But the tough thing is there's moments like that in all of the Slog, except the Crossroads of Twilight, where I just am like, I don't remember anything about that book that I really even enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, there's moments I can pick out of most of the books. The using of the Bowl of the Winds is really fantastic.
Yep.
Egwene standing up and being like, ha ha ha, there's I read the bylaws. I love I read the bylaws scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's hilarious. She's like, we're the war, Aja, now.
Well,
Great stuff.
The First Sister ceremony was obviously very small, but, like, was still, like, a really cool scene.
A lot of the Slog have banger prologues.
Yes.
The rest of the book are not good, but the prologue is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Arizu asks, one for nerdy mostly. Okay, fine. I see how it is.
Well, I actually answer the questions and you go, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
What do you mean? I just answered the fucking question.
I know. I'm just giving you shit.
Okay, fine. We'll go back to the first question.
No. We'll move on.
No, we're going to wait until I think of something that's really good. We're going to sit here and we're going to contemplate.
Asks, one for nerdy mostly, on the subject of prophecy versus free will. Do you think the discussion at the end with Min, saying prophecies can only happen if the pattern continues, helps to combat your general dislike of prophecies? Or does it strictly depend on how prophecies are used in the story? Or are you in the just no prophecies ever camp?
No, I don't think you're no prophecies ever.
I'm not no prophecies ever. No, that is not what I've said. I don't like when prophecies are... I don't mind Min's prophecies as much because they're usually, like, for the most part, she just sees shit and she's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Like, there's a couple where she's like, you need Cat Swain. I don't really understand why or how or, like, any of that. I just have this general feeling.
But I don't like the Cat Swain one because it has allowed Cad Swain to not be a member of the team.
I just mean
because
like
she's forced to be there.
I don't mean the prophecy meanings. I just mean like what the I'm talking about the inciting thing, not that like outcome of that, like what that means.
I think I think that my feelings on the Min saying the prophecies don't last if they don't win, it doesn't mean a lot to me in the moment. I think that it's an interesting thought for that scene, and I think that it becomes a good scene. I do really like the way that is written. I think Brandon Sanderson did a good job there. It doesn't change for me the flavor of how heavy-handed the prophecies are in this book as a whole, in this series as a whole, and how some of our character development has been stunted by a need to hold to these prophecy ideas that have like put Rand in a position where he's like, oh, well, I have to do this thing, or, oh, I have to be this person, as opposed to kind of finding that himself. And I think that sometimes that slows down character development, and so that's just kind of how I feel about it. I liked that scene a lot. I really did.
I mean, it's interesting because I like what the having the prophecies in the story can mean for our characters and their development. Right? Like, Elena made all the wrong choices because she had this foretelling that she believed so hard in and interpreted in a specific way, and it fucked up her whole life. Like, I think that using it in creative ways like that, for me personally, is really cool. I think it's a super interesting payoff. Prophecies where it's like, this must happen, and that has no personal meaning or consequences for the character is kind of like, meh, whatever. But people trying to either deliberately fulfill or avoid their like destiny in a sense, I actually find that storytelling can be incredibly compelling, but I also think it's really easy to just lean on as a bit of a crutch. So it depends on how it's used, I think. Like, it depends who's writing it.
It also, for me, it depends on what the characters are learning, right? I think that if we talked about the prophecy in Harry Potter in this, right? Where I'm like, I like that prophecy because it gives no information about how to do things. It is just a prophecy that Voldemort takes and makes his own life harder by believing in.
Well, and also, the thing that I actually like about that prophecy is that Voldemort chose his own adversary, right? Because it could have been two different people. Like those kinds of things, those like deeper levels and nuance. Not that I think J.K. Rowling is like particularly a great author, but
no.
but those kinds of things I find more interesting than like it has to be this person and something has to happen this way, and that like that Voldemort played his own part in choosing how things were going to play out.
Well, but for me, it's the difference between this person is going to fight this person, and a prophecy that says these two people are going to fight. This is the person who has a chance to defeat this person.
Yeah.
Interesting prophecy. This person, the other version, which is this person is going to show up to this thing under this moon, and then this thing is going to happen, which is going to cause this thing to happen, and then everyone will know that the prophecy has taken place because this series of conditions, this checklist of conditions will have been met and the prophecy will be over.
Yeah.
I like prophecies that are the start of a story, and I don't like prophecies that tell me what the end of a story is going to be.
Fair.
Because I know they're going to happen. Like, nobody writes it. And you know what? Honestly, the author that does it, I would be interested to read it, where the prophecy doesn't take place, right? But for the most part, if I read a prophecy in any book, especially fantasy books, and a little bit in sci-fi as well, if I read the prophecy, I know that it's going to happen, right? Because otherwise, it's Chekhov's gun. If you write the prophecy, and the prophecy is a close-ended prophecy, and maybe that's what it is for me. If you write a close-ended prophecy, it feels like the author forcing the end of the story too early.
Right.
Whereas if you write an open-ended prophecy, it's like, these two characters are going to fight. And like, I know the good character's probably going to win, right? I've seen enough stories. But the characters don't know that. And so they're able to be a little bit more they're able to play around a little bit more with their futures and learn and use their own methods at success.
Yeah.
Whereas I think close-ended prophecies lead to conversations like this where the woman's like, well, we have all these prophecies. Of course we're going to win. We know how it ends. And I'm grateful for this scene where Min says, well, no, there is a version of this where that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, of course, of course you would get too cocky. There's so many prophecies in this world about how this goes down. And so I don't know. I find for the most part, people overuse prophecy to have the world feel whimsical. And that's fine. It's just not my favorite thing. Other people love it. And there's no like right or wrong. It's a subjective thing. I am just not the biggest fan of prophecies in general. I don't like the prophecy in Star Wars. I think that introducing the prophecy in the prequels diminished the original trilogy. And I'm a huge prequels fan. I'm a huge George Lucas fan. I think that introducing a prophecy, introducing a chosen one wasn't a great idea. That's my personal take on that. It's probably my least favorite thing that George Lucas introduced in the prequels is the prophecy of the chosen one. Because I think that it detracts from Anakin's choice at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Sure.
I think that it puts him in a position where like, well, of course he redeemed himself at the end. He was the prophesized chosen one. It had to happen because the narrative, you know what I mean? And It just becomes like, it takes away the moment of this man realized he fucked up worse than anyone had fucked up, and he finally made the right choice.
Yeah.
It takes that away when you're like, yeah, but the Force and the midichlorians of the universe knew that at the end of his life, he was going to bring balance to the Force by throwing Palpatine down the mine shaft, right? For me, that prophecy doesn't make that moment better.
Yeah.
I don't mind if the characters have an antagonist that they want to fight for their reasons, not because God sent words into a psychic and told the character that they had to fight them.
Yeah.
No. My main character wants to fight this character because it is the right thing to do, and this is the thing that they come up with to do it.
Yeah.
Is different than my main character is sitting around reading a book telling him what to do all the time, and then he just goes around doing the side quests from the books that he's misinterpreting or interpreting.
Yeah.
I think that it takes away character agency. And I think that it is just not my favorite way of interpreting stories.
Yeah, and some people love it and some people write it better than others. I definitely had a lot of fun at the beginning of book club with a lot of the prophecies of the dragon and us trying to figure out what that meant, right?
Yeah.
It kind of in a way that like Min is trying to read these books and interpret them with a different lens. And like I think that that's really fun. But yeah, I agree. Things that are like prophesizing exactly how the story's gonna, maybe not exactly, that's obviously usually open up for discussion or like there's twists and stuff like that, but yeah, I think prophecies about how things are going to end are also not my favorite. It's more like the steps along the journey, and then if something doesn't happen here, it's like, what does that mean for the rest of the journey? Like, how does that change things and affect things moving forward?
Yeah.
So, I think it can be hit and miss, and I think that there's, like, a better way to do it, and maybe, like, not as great way to do it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Gorgo. This was a book of reunifications. Which was a bigger achievement, the reunification of the Tower or the reunification of Rand? I'm going to say the Tower, and this might be controversial, y'all. I'm going to miss Luce Theron.
Really?
I liked Rand being a little crazy. I thought it made his it made every time he grabbed the power interesting. It gave stakes. We were talking about this.
Do you think he still gets sick when he grabs the power?
We don't know yet. We'll find out in the Towers of Midnight.
Do you think so? Well, we can go like a yes or no and see. No.
No, I think personally, I think Luce Theron tugging away from him was the problem.
Oh.
But it might still be the wounds in his side, so I'm open to being wrong about that.
I'm gonna say yes, just to be the opposite. Well, no, it's just fun when one of us is right and one of us is wrong, So I'm just gonna go with.
I'm just gonna hope that you're wrong. Yeah, no, I do. I don't know. We were talking about this week of if what. Oh hi.
I just got very close.
The interesting thing about when we were talking about the show, when we're talking about season 1, which we'll talk about again, the idea of one of the girls being the Dragon Reborn is super uninteresting.
Oh, because there's
crazy. No consequences,
yeah,
right? Because there's no taint on the female half of the power. If the most powerful person on Earth doesn't have the taint in this world, you've chosen the least interesting version of it. Not that I'm like a woman can't be the chosen one. I'm just saying that specifically in a
consequences are
world
different.
where you've introduced the taint on the one half of the power, it is immediately uninteresting to give the most power to the person who has no consequences for using it, right?
Yeah.
But now Rand has kind of gotten to that point where like all of the things holding him back are gone. And so what...
Maybe he still gets sick. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but getting a little nauseous when you want to destroy 100,000 Trollocs, that's a trade-off I'll take. As opposed to, I don't know if Luthieren's going to grab the power and kill us.
Yeah.
Because he wants to die now.
Yeah.
Right? And so I actually really liked the narrative use of Luthien in Rand's head wanting to just be dead at the moment. And the fear that instills in Rand in like, I don't know if I can grab this power today because I don't know if I have like I don't know if I'm sharp enough today to keep Luthien from it.
Yeah.
That was really interesting stuff to me. And I'm going to miss that, even though I am kind of, we've done it. We've told that story. I understand there's not a lot more like runway for that, but it has been one of the more interesting things about the last few books. And so I'm going to miss Luthien. I actually think that Rand and Luthien's bickering was kind of a really interesting part of the series.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to classify like a bigger achievement because they both came down to interpersonal relations and like an internal struggle, which I actually was like very grateful for. You know, I think it would have been like easy to write a battle for the White Tower. You know what I mean? And it just come down to who won the arm wrestle or whatever it was. But like both reunifications were about the people involved and like and mending like the interpersonal relationships, whether with another person or even within yourself.
Yeah.
Like they're actually very similar in a lot of different ways, and I think that is infinitely more difficult than, you know, I did the bigger pew pew with the magic, right? Like knowing how people work and using that and trying to bring people around is a huge achievement. You know, we've all gotten into that like fucking like Twitter argument where you're like, this is pointless because nobody cares to bother having a different perspective, opening up their eyes, seeing what's happening, acknowledging this or like looking at it this way. Like people are fucking annoying as shit. Yeah. And so I think that I don't know. I think it might be the White Tower, but I think that both are like incredibly important, but also like they're both such difficult things. People go to therapy for years to try to get over shit.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We said that the White Tower is going to be one of the Towers of Midnight.
Yeah.
But the White Tower has been reunified. Do you think that is still the case?
Oh, that it's one of the Towers of Midnight? I mean, yeah, it's gotta be. Like, I still don't know if... I don't know if Rand and Egwene are going to be antagonistic towards one another. And I think that having the Black Tower there automatically puts friction between them. Especially because, like... I mean, I think Rand knows that Tame is fucking sus.
No, he knows he's evil. Yeah, Logain has revealed that to him.
Yeah, but like... But Egwene and Rand's methods for things don't mesh super well. So I think that there's going to... Yeah, I think that the Towers of Midnight are the White Tower, the Black Tower, and the Spire.
See, I'm starting to think that the Towers of Midnight are the Towers of Malkiri. And that we're going to get the, like, Lan at Tarwin's Gaptooth fight in the next book, but that won't be the last battle. Because aren't there like 7 towers in Malkiri?
There are, yeah.
And I'm starting to think that the Towers of Midnight are going to be... That's what the Towers of Midnight are.
Maybe, okay. Maybe the Spire... No, wait.
The Spire?
Yeah.
The Tower of Genji's got to be one of the Towers of Midnight.
Yeah, well, maybe the Tower of Genji is actually connected to Malkiri in some way because that's where Lan's fucking uncle was from.
Oh, Sam Luke.
Slayer, right? So maybe they actually, maybe they have some kind of connection to one another. That's what I meant by the Spire.
Because there is a Malkiri in, yeah.
And so I just think that like Yeah, that connection could be very easily made with what we know of fucking what's his face?
I don't know.
Isam?
And Luke.
Isam. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, but I mean like specifically that half of him is Lan's uncle, right?
I don't remember.
I think, yeah. And I think Lord Luke is the Rand one.
Oh, right. And Lord Luke is Rand's uncle.
Yeah.
Or dad. Something.
I need a fucking family tree.
The problem is that Sam and Luke it's been like 3 books since we've seen them.
I know. It's been longer, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was in Farmading. No. Tenchigo? No.
It's been a hot second.
Was it Ebudar? What city were they fucking in when that happened?
Which happened?
When Sam and Luke, when he killed I think it was Farmading. So it would have been Winter's Heart.
Winter's Heart. Okay. Sorry, Lan's cousin. Right. Luke is Rand's uncle, and then that is Lan's cousin. Thank you. The family tree thing is...
Yeah. But like, you know, it's hard for me to give a shit about Sam and Luke and the whole Slayer thing because they show up like once every 4 books for like half a chapter.
Yeah.
And like in the Winter's Heart scene, they showed up, killed 2 random people, and then disappeared. Like it literally had nothing to do with the rest of the plot, other than to be like, "Hey, the Slayer still does exist. I know it seems like I've forgotten about him. I haven't. He just isn't really relevant to this at all."
Yeah.
Like he literally stabs 2 random people in their beds, and then he's not mentioned again in the book.
Yeah, he's not like my favorite villain or threat or whatever because I'm kind of like I just don't I don't get you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the point of you is. Maybe he's the one who killed Asmodean.
Like Perrin hasn't seen him in like 10 books.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the one who killed Asmodean.
Slayer killed Asmodean.
I mean, it would work.
Right? Yeah.
Arazu asks, you've seen Egwene both adopt the traditions of the White Tower in swearing the oaths, for example, and reject them in refusing to ignore the unpleasant. Going forward, how effective do you think she will be in changing things for the better in the White Tower? And how much do you think the Aes Sedai will push back against her and hamper her or try to assimilate her?
I mean, Ramonda and Lelaine already tried to kind of puppet her.
Yeah, good luck.
So I honestly don't. Look. I think that Egwene is going to figure out what the small ways she can concede are. Like, did that sentence make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like that came out of my mouth, and I was like, I don't know about that one. She's going to give on the things that I'm sure she doesn't think are as important, right? Just so that she doesn't seem like a dictator. Because if you try and instill reform in an institution that's this old, where there's a lot of big fucking personalities, you cannot be so rigid because because that's when you will get the most amount of pushback. She's gonna have to find the things that she's willing to kind of like step back a bit on, but I think she's gonna stick to the important ones. Like the more that she talks about the Black Aja and the power levels and like how the White Tower works that nobody likes talking about, the more that people will just get used to it. And I think that in and of itself will fizzle out the taboo around it. I think she's gonna have a harder time, honestly, with with hard and fast rules. The etiquette thing, I think, will like just kind of fizzle because people will get used to it.
I think there's not enough book left for it to be that important. I think like there's only 2 books left. We're approaching the last battle. If we spend a significant chunk of the last 2 books dealing with White Tower politics, those are going to be chapters I'm not going to be as interested in, right? I think that
Egwene also kind of has an in with the whole war thing. She can be like, it's the last battle. We're going to war, which means I'm kind of in charge again, and we're going to fuck shit up. I
just think that like we spent so much of the last 3 books dealing with Egwene overcoming all of this political stuff.
Yeah.
That if we spend more time just kind of like rehashing the stuff we've already done, I don't know how interested in any of that I will be.
Yeah.
I don't want just infighting in the White Tower because that's the whole point of the reunifying the White Tower is that we're kind of done with that now.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can finally fucking move on with these characters.
And I also think that like rooting out the Black Aja is gonna help with the descent, right?
That's
like
true.
that's gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, well, they're all fucked anyways then.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be interesting pushback about how she wants to handle Rand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to breed pushback on how like the White Tower's like day to day is run at this point.
Yeah, I think
we
she's
just need to like move forward.
I think she's earned people's respect. I think you're right. I think that's not going
unless
to be
the reveal is that Laris is Masana, and then I'm super in. That'll be super interesting. And Masana's still fucking everything up. If it's a Forsaken fucking shit up, I'll be interested in it. But if it is just bickering, like if it's endless bickering, we've done it. We've got to get past this at some point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Kano asks, after Rand's revelation at the end of Gathering Storm, what changes do you expect to see from him going forward? I think his dick got 3 inches longer, so he's gonna just plow Min out.
Jesus Christ. His heart grew 3 sizes that day and could pump more blood. He can last for 4 hours.
I want the Grinch porn parody where his dick goes 3 sizes.
You know that someone's already done that.
And then he fucks
someone's done that.
Obviously, we're like this version of the Grinch, no Cindy Lou Who. I don't want an 18-year-old Cindy Lou Who. That's always weird when they take the child and age them up for the porn parody.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
It's all about the Grinch fucking the neighbor with the fucking light cannon.
Martha Mayhew?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
In my version of the Grinch.
Hi, that one.
In my version of the Grinch, the Grinch
God.
cucks the mayor after his dick grows 3 inches that day.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Yeah, someone's already done that. Let's be honest. What's that actress's name? She's fucking delightful.
Oh, I know. She's
in
so amazing.
Chicago as well. Like, oh my God.
Christine Baranski, is that her name?
That sounds about right.
Here, you answer this question and I'll.
You're gonna Google it. Here's the thing. I think it would be very weird if Rand did like a 180. Like, I think he's gonna have to navigate.
Yeah, Christine Baranski fucking nailed it. She's so hot in that movie.
Delightful. She is.
She's still hot. I mean, like,
she can get
God,
it.
Yeah.
It's like her and like oh my God, we just watched
Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh my God, excuse me, guys, if you haven't seen Stardust,
yeah,
watch it. Anyways, what?
I forgot. She's hot in Stardust.
She's hot.
She's hot. She's hot in Quantumania though. There's a scene in that movie where her and Bill Murray are talking about their like how they used to fuck, and you're like,
oh my.
I would watch that. All right. Anyway.
I think it'd be weird if he did like a like full 180.
Yeah.
But I think that he's going to have to kind of deal with the consequences of fucking, almost bail firing Tam and all of this, like an entire fucking civilization of people, right? Like, he's gonna have to come to terms with that, and I think find a more like middle ground. I think that it's that like wrestling the two sides and coming together. I hope that he's more open to communicating with Nynaeve, even if he doesn't take her advice, but like talking about things before he decides to do them. And I wonder if it's gonna have an effect on how he feels about Lan. I don't know if it will.
I don't know if it will either.
I don't know if it will, because Lan made a choice, and I think that like
Lan's a big boy.
Yeah, you can't force people to do what you want to do. You know, like that's. I mean, well, technically you can, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't know. I think
they're going to be subtle changes.
I think that Rand is going to be a completely different character moving forward, and he's going to.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's just going to be like really peppy and fun. I think he's going to show up and be like, guys, let's go fight the last battle. I think that this is where musical Rand.
Version?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, I'm kidding. No, I think Rand is. I think that Rand is going to be much more centered. I think he's still going to be very hard. Because Min is wearing those tight trousers, and it's just not fair to a man.
It's not fair.
She's wearing she's wearing the Lululemons of the historical fantasy. Mm-hmm. But no, I think that there's going to be just a lot more focus from him because he won't be so distracted by his own brain, and I think that that's going to lead to some really interesting character interactions where Rand can really like be present with people more, and I think that's going to lead to better relationships with his women. Because he will be paying attention to them.
Well, and I think Avienda's going to come back, and I think that, like, I hope that that's a big moment. I really hope that's a thing. You know?
I hope Rand at some point goes and talks to Elaine again, because she's very pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that that's like almost the first thing he does.
Yeah.
He leaves Dragonmount. He's like, I need to go check on Elaine.
Yeah.
Gotta go check on her.
Yeah. And I don't know. I hope that Rand can like. I just hope that Rand is a little better at interacting with people after this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rob Ross asks, with the final battle approaching and preparations being made in the last few books, what roles do you expect our Emmons Field 5 to play? Well,
I think Rand's just going to send Matt in, and Matt's luck is just going to make him win everything.
Well, no, Matt's going to build the cannons.
Yeah. The dragons.
You know, kaboom goes the cannons, watch your blood and your shit spray. Yeah, no, I think that Matt is going to lead, like, the Grenadiers and the cannon folk. Perrin is going to fight. I don't think Perrin's going to fight literally. I think Perrin's going to fight with the, like, memories of the wolves.
World?
Yeah, he's going to lead an army of, like, long dead wolves in, like, the dream world. And so there's going to be, like, a three-pronged attack of, like, Rand by air, because he's going to fight Ishmael in the sky again, like he fought at Falma. And then Matt is going to lead the, like, artillery charge of Shia Ghul with grenadiers, cannons, that stuff. I think Avienda, Elaine, Nynaeve, Egwene are going to be, like, the magic users. And then Perrin is going to fight the Teleran Riyadh fight and protect everyone's, like, unconscious mind from being touched by the Dark One while the fight is going on.
I wonder if maybe, like, Egwene and Perrin kind of work together in that. Because, like, Egwene is a dreamer, and they might be able to, like, share insight with one another on, like, how to affect the dream world in different ways.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that would be, like, an interesting conversation, even though I don't know if it's very likely.
I wish that... The one thing I wish is that more of our main characters had enemies. Like, personal enemies.
Well, that's
like,
why
Matt doesn't...
Slayer is, like, would be interesting if I understood what the fuck he's doing.
Well, but Slayer and Perrin are obviously going to fight, right?
Yeah.
Or Slayer and Lan.
But no, yeah, because, Slayer's not after Perrin. Slayer is after
Right, but they have the same
Rand
powers.
and-
Like Slayer and Perrin interact with the same kind of magic, right? I think that Alviarin will be Egwene's kind of foil, right? For the final fight. I think.
Really? I feel like Alviarin's kind of been like...
Well, yeah, but she escaped to the Dark One. So she'll be a Dreadlord or whatever, right?
yeah.
That, like, but yeah, I do wish there were more personal... Obviously, Nynaeve and Mogideon is going to be... They're going to have a final fight.
Oh, Rand's gonna have to fight Lanfear and Moradin at the same time.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So yeah, but I wish that, like, because Matt doesn't have, like, an enemy.
How likely is it? And this is a wild thing that I'm just throwing out there for the sake of throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
How wild do you think it would be if, like, the prophecy wasn't about uniting the north, the south, and the west, and like, it wasn't like that in a literal sense. It was that Matt has to go save Moraine, and he somehow negotiates or tricks the Elfin into participating in Tarmangaden.
Sure. This is what I mean about prophecies just don't do anything for me.
Fair enough.
That Matt... Because here's my problem with it. Matt getting the Elfin into the last battle is the same amount of interesting to me, whether or not you've already told me that something needs to happen for the final battle to happen.
Sure.
That, like, the prophecies, in my opinion, never make character interactions or character successes more interesting. They just foreshadow it lazily. I think that prophecies, in general, are mostly lazy foreshadowing. But
I don't know.
Harry Potter beating Voldemort...
They're, like, fun. Depending on how they do it. But
it's
like,
taste, though. Like, you're allowed to have that opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm universally correct.
No, yeah, it's just
I'm
not
saying that for me,
yeah.
I don't care that Harry Potter was prophesized to kill Voldemort. I don't care that Vader was prophesized to bring balance to the Force.
The story's still interesting regardless of the prophecy.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Prophecies never change what is interesting about something. It is just theory crafting stuff that, like, I don't need. I want to be invested in what our characters are actively doing, not in, this person said this thing 20 years ago. I just don't give a shit.
Matt's personal fight is Pat and Fane. because of the dagger. Paddon Fane thinks it's Rand, but it's actually Matt.
But we're getting into a point where Paddon Fane should not be on the board anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck
What does Paddon Fane's place in the Dark One's fight? Because Paddon Fane should be on their side.
Yeah, it's weird,
Paddon
right?
Fane isn't on the Dark One's side. Paddon Fane has no reason to fight with the Dark One. The Dark One wants to kill Paddon Fane. Paddon Fane, at this point, should either have... Paddon Fane either needs to be taken out in Towers of Midnight, or he needs to ride into the last battle with the good guys. Or show up to try and kill Rand in the middle of it and be like a hindrance. But like, Rand is so powerful at this point that Paddon Fane shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that's why I mean for Matt, it's more interesting because...
Sure.
Like, Matt doesn't have magic, really.
Yeah.
Except the luck, which is definitely just magic.
But like, but Paddon Fane just kind of has not mattered enough in the series to be this sort of... Because where is he? Where has he been for so long?
I do wish that he had been a little more prevalent because for a while he was the most interesting villain.
Yeah, and now he's just... Well, and part of the problem is that we have not seen him since Winter's Heart, right? Mm-hmm. And so we don't even know if he still exists because his power comes through Mashadar. So like... I don't really care about Paddon Fane. If he never showed up again, I would just be like, he died when Mashadar died. When the taint and Mashadar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he never shows up again, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I don't care about him. He has no personal connection to anybody anymore.
He killed
and he's
Asmodean.
been gone for so long. No, because Asmodean wouldn't have known Paddon Fane.
No, I know.
But he's just been gone for so long.
Unless
at this point.
Asmodean helped torture him into his... Anyway, it does matter.
I can't imagine Asmodean being a torturer.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? And so, like, Emil brings up the Golem. The Golem's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, true. Although, Matt does have a way to at least hinder or keep it at bay with the,
But Matt's the only one who can fight it.
Yeah. So that does make it interesting.
So, yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I would love for Paddon Fane to matter, but they have to reintroduce him to matter. Like, you can't just have him show up again and have me be like, that was a great character.
Yeah.
Paddon Fane's done the most interesting thing that he can do, which is wound Rand. Mm-hmm. And now they need to, like, either end his storyline or introduce a new storyline for him.
Yeah.
But there's no, like, ongoing story with Paddon Fane right now. Other than, I'm angry.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what he's been for a while.
Yeah.
And he wasn't always that way. There was a point where we were like, Paddon Fane is the most interesting villain in the series. Right?
Yeah.
And it was at the point where Paddon Fane kept sneaking into all of these organizations, and he was just always there with the white cloaks.
Maybe he's with the Sanchin.
Oh my god. I hope not. I hope he's with the white cloaks. Because if he's with the Sanchin, then every fucking character in the Sanchin is just a double agent. Like, all of them. There's too many people sneaking into the fucking Sanchins.
Yeah, that's fair.
This series, unfortunately, has some of the worst villains in fantasy. As much as I love a lot of it, it has some of the worst villains in fantasy.
It's very up and down because sometimes they are very interesting.
But even the characters who are very interesting have long stretches where they either are just completely missing or are utterly inept.
Yeah.
And like the most interesting conflicts in the Wheel of Time are interpersonal conflicts between the good characters because none of the bad guys are great. Mazrim Taim right now is probably the most interesting because we don't know what's going on with him. But at the same time, Mazrim Taim is also like not prevalent. Like these characters aren't in the stories. They're mostly talked about. You hear about them once a book. There might be a chapter where a character goes and visits them.
Yeah.
But like the last time we saw Mazrim Taim was in the epilogue of Knife of Dreams, where he says, "Let the Lord of Chaos rule." Never see him again. And so, like, I think that Wheel of Time wants these villains to be interesting by just not showing them, but by not showing them, they just kind of disappear. Like, Luke and Assam is the most prevalent example of, like, where is this character? Does this character matter to this at all? Because they killed 2 random people in Formatting 4 books ago.
Yeah.
And they interacted with the main character 9 books ago.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care about this character at all.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's been probably 3 million words. 3 million words since they interacted with the main character.
Yeah, maybe. And
our main characters aren't even scared of them because they don't know they exist.
I mean, the Moradin and Rand scene was cool.
Moradin is the best of it, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Morden has also been killed 3 times by Rand and has never won a fight.
What?
Or not killed, but Morden has lost 3 fights against Rand and has never won one. So, like, yes, he is an interesting villain, but he has never won a fight against Rand. So when you're telling me, like, we're going to the final fight, it's Morden v. Rand, it's the final battle. Morden has not won one yet, but maybe he'll take one off Rand this time.
Yeah.
Like, the bad guys in this series are the underdogs. They suck at winning fights. They're fucking terrible at it.
Yeah.
Like Semiraj, yeah, you know what? Semiraj got the collar on Rand and then immediately died. Graendal, she conquered a kingdom off page, and the first time Rand interacted with her, she immediately died. Maybe, like...
I think, yeah.
Half of the villains that Rand is going to fight in the last battle have different bodies because he's already killed them once. Rand is the Apollo Creed of this universe, and everybody else is Rocky Balboa climbing up the stairs in Philadelphia like, maybe this time I'm taking out the Dragon Reborn. And Rand is like, no, I'm the fucking Dragon Reborn. I don't lose. Come at me, bitch. Let's go. And the villains are like, the Dark One gave me another body because you wiped out my last one. Let's do this again.
I think, to be fair, for like something like the Semiraj thing, like that was the Dark One. You know what I mean? He like put her in that position to fuck up Rand so bad that he became like he fucking lost it. And then the Dark One was like, here's the true power. Right? And then
Sure.
So that was all like orchestrated.
Again, the Dark One is a weird, twisted motherfucker in the background that Rand isn't fighting.
He's a weird, twisted motherfucker.
Rand is fighting these actual villains, and he always beats them. And so when we're going towards the final fight, and half of the bad guys are in new bodies because the good guy already wiped out their old body, like who's left? Moradin?
Yep.
New body, because Rand killed them.
Moghedien.
Moghedien's in her...
Lanfear.
Moghedien is now Sindane. No. Lanfear, Sindane. Moghedien's in the same body.
Yeah.
But Moghedien spent multiple books collared and has... the only time she's almost won a fight was when she shot Balefire at Nynaeve from 5 kilometers away and missed. Moghedien never won a fight. Nynaeve has beat Moghedien every single time they fought. None of these characters lose fights. And so when we're going into the last battle and the bad guys have never won, they are the underdog. They need to prove that they can win a fucking fight in this franchise because I'm going to the last battle being like, our good guys are going to steamroll them again because it's happened every single time. They sent 100,000. I don't think it's 100,000. I think people in this world probably can't do very good math. And that is a very high number to count to. They sent 100,000 Trollocs to fight Rand in a manor in the woods, and Rand lost 19 people.
Yeah.
These odds are so heavily stacked against the bad guys that, like, they're gonna lose. They suck at this. They're so bad at fighting. They're fucking awful at it. They are never good at anything. The villains in this series suck at their job. They're fucking terrible. And then this series wants us to be like, oh, yeah, but Demandred is gonna be the scary one. And I'm like, I think Demandred is probably gonna finally fight someone and he's gonna get his little tushy spanked. Because everybody on the bad guys team sucks at their job. They're fucking terrible. The only time Rand loses is when he loses control and he accidentally kills more of his men than the bad guys have killed in the entire fucking franchise.
I think though that like all of that is really put into perspective with the Varen reveal. Because Varen is like, yeah, they're not like the best at anything. They're just the most selfish people. And I was like, that's fascinating.
It would be really cool to read this series from their perspective because of that.
Yeah.
But because they are the villains to our main characters, I don't give a shit about that. Because
I totally understand that. I just like, it really works for me that Varen's like, yeah, these people are like, you know, they're kind of scary and a little bit intimidating, but they're honestly just really, really selfish. Like, I was like, oh, okay, I see how this is going.
I just think if there were 2 victories where they actually, like, crushed,
Yeah.
Where there was like desperate retreat on our good guys' side.
Yeah.
Where they had to go back home and lick their wounds.
Yeah.
This series would be so much more interesting to me.
Yeah,
I battle
understand what
would
you're
be
saying for sure.
1,000 times more frightening.
Yeah.
Because I would have at some point seen the bad guys win something.
Yeah.
And instead we get this idea where we have to be so invested in whether or not Rand is going to be sane enough to fight the final fight. Because the only way that Rand loses is if he fucks up. Because there's just simply no way this group of morons could ever win against these good guys. Because they are morons.
So do you think that, like, Demandred is going to get a win, or Morden
I fucking
might
hope
get
so.
a win in?
I want the Towers of Midnight to end with Lan on a spike. I'm not fucking joking. I want the bad guys at the end of Towers of Midnight to roll through fucking Camelin or Kyrian or Tyr. I want the Stone of Tyr in Pebbles. I want Ebu Dar to be a ghost town. I want Ruidian to no longer exist because Moradin balefired the city out of existence. I want the end of this penultimate book, my favorite word. I want it to be such a devastating loss that I give a shit about the last battle. Because the problem is, it seems like they're setting up a literal battle.
Yeah.
And the bad guys it's the thing the bad guys are very, 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 very bad at. For 12 books. Actually, 13 books. You know who also never wins a fight? The bad guys Moraine fights in fucking New Spring. She wins that one too. The bad guys
Moraine
in the series never win a single battle. There's no retreat.
They do manage
there's no
to murder
surrender.
the Emerald Seat, so.
Off page.
Yeah.
Again, our main characters don't lose. And so, yes, I want the Towers of Midnight to be devastating. I want this book to be a fucking rout. I want Rand to be alone in the fucking igloo he fucked Avienda in, going, how the fuck did I lose? I've never lost before. I don't know what to do with that information.
So if you had to choose, like, in the Towers of Midnight, because I don't think, based on this series, that, like, you know, everyone's going to lose across the board.
No.
But, like, if you were to choose a villain to get a win and, like, one of our main characters to get, like, a big L in this book, who would it be?
Lan at Torrance Gap.
Oh, really? I think that's going to be, like, final battle, like, last book kind of stuff. But sure, that's fine.
Yeah, but then we have to spend 2 more books reading about Lan slowly making his way to the last.
But we're not with Lan. Like, Lan has to travel all the way fucking over here, all the way up and, like, through people. So I actually don't think that Lan's going to get there this book.
But I think that Lan losing at Torrance Gap would be an interesting like battle loss that I think the series needs.
Cool. Okay.
There's emotional losses, and there are those things that people push back on me when they're like, yeah, but Rand is upset about this person dying, and I'm like, that's not a loss. That's not our villains succeeding at a plan they enact. And I also find that, like, yeah, but the villains don't want to win fights because they want Rand. That is boring. If your book is going to be 4 million words, if it's a single book, you can do that. You can have the villain leading the good guy to the end of the book. But, like, we've gone too far. Like, we have passed the point where the villains can... Well, no, but the villains know that if they just wait another year of this, we're going to get to a battle where they can finally use their full strength. I don't want to fucking read 4.5 million words waiting for the villains to actually start trying.
Then I think we've talked this one to death. So let's move on.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
To a different question.
That wasn't even a question. That was just us chatting.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why you just keep saying the villains suck, and so I'm pushing us
I've been
forward.
saying it for a year, and people are still watching the show, so I don't know.
No,
I think that's what people are here for.
And I don't think you are wrong. I want to be clear. It's just like, we know.
Dirtburb says, both Rand and Egwene have gone through enormous transformations in this book. Rand finally coming to terms with his role as a Dragon Reborn, and Egwene truly becoming Amerlin Seat. What are your hopes and fears for their future interactions?
Yeah, this one makes me nervous. Because here's the thing. I think that if Rand had interacted with Egwene before Veins of Gold, would have gone extremely poorly. And now I think it's going to be
extremely
contentious. Poorly. No. Like, I think it's going to... I think it's not going to go very well, but I don't think there's going to be a fucking implosion in the White Tower falls to pieces, right? I know that Egwene understands a little bit of what Rand went through, right? We saw that she was sympathetic towards him being in the box when she was like cramped in her cell, and she's like, I can't imagine what Rand has gone through. I just think that they are going to want to approach the problems very differently, and I think it's gonna take them time to be able to fully work together. Here's
my thing about Egwene. And I'm going to say this now because I already know she's going to piss me off. Egwene is going to come into this situation being like, I am the Amerlin seat. You need to listen to me. And Rand is going to go, you are the Amerlin seat of a white tower that needs work. Go fix your shit. You have not been here. You are not a part of this. You have not been a part of this. You don't know what's going on. You don't have any of the information. I have been doing this whole time. I have a whole team of people who know what's going on. We've been interacting with the Dark One. You've been interacting with the White Tower. You are not... You are in your own story.
Yeah, but if Rand tries to control the White Tower for his needs, the Egwene could say the exact fucking same thing.
I don't think Rand wants or needs the White Tower. I think Rand's
What do you mean? Rand is determined to get everybody together for Tarmangaden, even the Sanshin. You think he'll take the Sanshin with him, but he won't take the White Tower?
No, I think that he's like, come show up for the last battle.
Yeah.
But I think that Rand is going to be... But I think that what's going to happen is Egwene is going to show up and start trying to tell Rand what to do. And Rand will, I hope, rightfully be like, you don't know what's... Like, you haven't been here for this. You have not been here in the trenches of what this war has been because you've had to go fix your own shit because your shit's fucked. So don't come in here because you finally fixed your own shit and pretend that you were on this journey with us.
I don't think that's totally fair because Egwene has been fighting Dark Friends and Black Aja this entire time. That's been her whole goal.
Egwene has not been a part... Egwene is not privy to what is going on, though. Egwene has no information about the actual fight that has been happening because she has had to fix the White Tower's crap.
But Egwene has access to the Dream World and the Terangriel. Egwene, I think, can like fairly easily actually get a handle on what's going on in the world. Because, yeah, Rand can bop around in like with traveling, but Egwene can do so in the Dream World. She can like contact people. She can actually like get information from different corners of the world where people are. I think that you're being a little too harsh on Egwene.
I would love. No. Here's the thing. I would fucking love if Egwene was mature and spent a little bit of time before she interacts with Rand using everything that you just said to figure out what Rand has been up to and what the truth of all these rumors are before interacting with him and coming to him with a mature, interesting, let's work together response. I do not think that is what is going to happen.
Okay,
I've read this series for the past year and a half. I think that Egwene is going to show up and start trying to berate Rand into listening to her because she's the Amerlin seat and he has to follow her. And it is going to be exhausting because we've already seen her say that. Yeah. We've seen her have that point of view already.
But that was before she had that moment of like, I understand what Rand has gone through. And I am hopeful that is like an integral, like a key moment for her character to, because here's the thing, even if she didn't go around getting all the information from places, if she like called a meeting with Rand and like asked him, I think that would also be beneficial without her having to like bop around.
But the language that she uses in the books is the Dragon Reborn has to. She keeps saying that he has to work for the White Tower. We have to get him under our control. Aleda has allowed him to go around doing his own thing. That is the language she has used in the books frequently.
Getting him under their control?
Under the White Tower, yeah. Yes. It has been used a lot. And Egwene is... I am worried about Egwene's response. If you are correct and she approaches it the way that you are saying, I would fucking... If they work together, I will love it. Because I would love for these two characters who know each other from childhood to sit down and have a genuine meeting where they're honest with each other and they work together because the last battle's coming. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. And it makes me nervous. Yeah. Because the way Egwene is talking about Rand in the books that we have read, and the way Aleda should have... the way she talks about it makes me nervous for what we're going to see moving forward. I would love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong.
The reason I think that the White Tower is included in the Towers of Midnight is that I think that like Matt's gonna go do the thing with the Tower Genji. Yeah. And I think maybe that like Rand is going to realize what's going on in the Black Tower and is going to ask Egwene for her help because some of her Aes Sedai are there. And so I could see the White Tower going against the Black Tower to kind of like defeat a bunch of the Dreadlords before the last battle kind of thing.
Would love it.
So that's kind of my hope for the next book and why it's called The Towers of Midnight. It's a projection, I know, but like
you want to know the line that makes me nervous about Egwene? Mm-hmm. It was when she's talking about the Black Aja or the Black Tower, bonding women, bonding channelers, and her saying why did Rand give them permission to do that? Who does Rand think he is to give them permission to do that?
Yeah.
That exchange makes me very nervous for the next book.
And that's why I'm hoping that they will communicate and Rand will be like, no, that's not what happened.
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I think that Mazrim Taim is going to very successfully put a blockade between Rand and Egwene. And it's going to be the bonding of each other. Like, and also Egwene's women going to the Black Tower. Like, I think that Egwene is going to blame Rand for those 20 women that disappeared. And
maybe.
I'm just nervous about it because I don't want to see Egwene become another Cat Swain.
Yeah.
But I see the potential for it in some of the language she's already used. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really hopeful they work together. Because I would like to see our good guys work together against bad guys instead of our good guys just not communicate and just create drama amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Which is my least favorite part of this whole series is that the best conflicts have just been our characters not talking.
Yeah, I don't mind when good character, like protagonist characters don't get along. Mm-hmm. It's when they like refuse to communicate with one another that I'm like, okay, well, this could all just be solved if you spoke to one another.
Skeptical Mario asks, somebody once told Gawain that Rand killed his mother. He isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Did it make sense for him not to live for Elaine? Oh my god. All right. Very funny.
His brain gets smaller, but his head gets down. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets through Tarvalon to rescue Egwene? Very close. Very close.
The problem is that you didn't want him to do it, and you need to respect your women. Just because you're the man in the relationship does not mean that you should choose what should happen when your woman explicitly tells you not to do something. Gia says, the sexy lamp test is a check for character agency. A female character that can be removed from the plot and replaced with a sexy lamp without destroying the story means that she doesn't have any agency. Do you think the Min we see now is a sexy lamp?
Sexy lamp test?
Yeah, like if you replace a female character with a sexy lamp, would the story change? It's a test. It's like the Bechdel test. It's a feminist theory.
I have never heard this before.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I don't think right now Min is a sexy lamp. I think that Min gets a lot of very interesting philosophical musings in the last book. I do think through a lot of the slog, Min is a sexy lamp. I think that Robert Jordan, the thing we get most from Min is that she's having sex with Rand, and she is there. And she wears tight pants and like she looks hot.
And she's reading Herod Fell's books. Like at least she is like trying to accomplish something. But yeah,
but in Gathering Storm, I disagree with that in Gathering Storm.
Depends on the book.
Going back to the chapter we talked about earlier in this, where like I really like Min being the one who's the one who brings up like, hey, like. First of all, I think her going to Cat Swain about her thing about Kalendor was interesting, and it's about her like using her brain, because I think that Min knows she's not really that useful in a fight.
Yeah.
In a back alley, yes, Min is great. But I think that the interaction... You don't
see that dagger coming.
Right.
Yeah.
But that interaction with Semiraj, I think Min, like... I think the interaction with Semiraj at the end of Knife of Dreams is really interesting because it is Min realizing, I want to be there for Rand, but I can't do it in a fight where these people have fucking magic. I am not capable. I am a hindrance in this avenue. And so I think she sends a lot of Gathering Storm working even harder on her studies so that she can still be a help in the final battle. And so because her interactions with characters in Gathering Storm are about her trying to... Her whole arc in Gathering Storm is trying to become more useful intellectually because she's realized she's not that useful physically.
Yeah.
I think is actually evidence that a sexy lamp could not replace her. Like, I think a sexy lamp can't have the arc that she has in this book.
Yep.
Even though I do think there are earlier books where, yes, I do agree with you. Min is a sexy lamp.
Yeah. Yeah. Is
that fair?
Yeah, there was just a lot of slow bits of the slog, especially for Min, where it just... Yeah, she didn't do much.
Well, there were sections where all Min was and Min is wrapped around Rand while he's sitting in bed. And, like, she's present for scenes.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But no, there were definitely parts, but I wouldn't say right now in Gathering Storm I would agree with that. I think right now she is... right now I think that she's very active within her own narrative.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that part of what helps is that she's not spending time with Rand. So when we do see Min, it's Min doing her own Min shit.
Yeah.
And it's not just kind of being a hanger-on for Rand's mental health.
Yep, for sure. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Iljram asks...
Well, actually, Sising added something to this. So Sexy Lamp entices male characters and merely sheds light on things they have to do. I love her, but she's a non-channeler surrounded by dangers that channeling could help. That doesn't mean that her arc is any less interesting, though. Like, she is clearly... her intellectual arc is interesting and a part of the story. And she's not just shining light on things for Rand, right? She's shining light on things for a lot of characters. And I enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, there are moments where it's kind of like she's... But you can't, like, not everybody, there's so many people in this fucking book that not everybody can, be doing everything all the time. So, I do not think Min is a sexy lamp.
Mm-hmm. Ildram says, what do you think the Borderlanders want? We've been hearing about this for, 4 books. What do you think it is? Because I'm ready to find out.
Well... I honestly, I have no fucking clue.
There's a chance that it's Demandred.
Oh, the Demandred has the Borderlanders?
In that one scene where they're in Child Ghoul, he's like, where I'm ruling, I have built an army.
Yeah, I thought he meant tame. I thought he was tame.
That is, it's also possible that it's that, right?
Yeah, my two
I don't think it's
Tame.
I think that Tame and Demandred are different characters.
Gotcha. Okay, so you think that he's got the Borderlanders?
Yeah, because Mazrim Tame was a problem before Demandred would have gotten out of...
Yeah, because what the fuck could be more important than, watching the Blight,
But I mean, Mazrim Tame would have been... Mazrim Tame would have been in Shia Ghul, still trapped in the Boar, when Mazrim Tame... Sorry, Demandred would have still been in trapped in the Boar when Mazrim Tame was... wreaking havoc on Salthea.
When he was a fake dragon.
So in order for this Tame to be Demandred,
you're right.
Then it would mean that Tame actually died and Demandred came in to replace, which is possible because Tame disappears for a while and then comes back.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's what it is.
Okay.
James Gunn, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you. I love Peacemaker. It's great.
Attack on Titan reactions are embarrassing.
Thank you. Appreciate your money.
Thank you for paying me to tell me that.
Yeah.
Your life is probably embarrassing, so good luck with that. I hope you're happy.
Good one.
I hope you're happy now. I hope you're proud how you could wallow in submission to feed your own ambition. God
damn it.
Oh my god.
I know Attack on Titan fandom is the gift that keeps on giving. Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna get myself a little ice cream.
I'm gonna briefly comment on Attack on Titan.
Oh.
I'm interested in the show. I want to keep watching it. And so we're going to keep watching it because I am still interested. I don't love it. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's better than a lot of television shows. I'm just critical of parts of it. And other parts of it I think are very brilliant.
Some people's brains can't handle critical thinking.
I know, but what's so funny is people are like, you should stop for us. And I'm like, or you should stop watching the reactions.
Yeah, you don't have to watch them.
I don't care if you watch them or not.
I don't know if you know this, but you don't have to watch them.
You really don't have to watch them.
If no one told you that before, I'm so sorry. This is a formal apology, but you are more than welcome to just not watch them.
And so it's so funny because I don't know what to tell you. I don't care if you don't like the reactions.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't like my opinions of the Wheel of Time. You're welcome to be here. You're welcome to not be here.
Book Club knows.
I am not Mr. Beast. I'm not bending over to be the biggest person in the world.
No.
I'm not. And that's not me dissing Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is a brilliant content creator, but he has to be for everybody because his stated goal is to be the biggest YouTuber ever.
Yep.
So he has to be for everyone.
Toast,
I'm not for everyone, and I don't fucking care. I'm not trying to be. I don't want to be your friend. I might want to be your friend if we meet in person and you're cool, but we have 50,000 people who are subscribed to this channel. I'm not trying to be best friends with all of y'all. If you like the content, watch it. If you don't. I would rather be niche. That's me. I am a strong personality, and I'm not going to water myself down for your ego. I don't know you. Don't watch the shit. I don't care. I really don't. I'm going to be fine. If we don't get 15,000 views on an Attack on Titan video, my ego is A-okay, because I just don't give a shit. I'm enjoying watching the show. Yeah, sometimes I'm critical of it. Being critical of something doesn't mean I'm not enjoying watching it. Mm-hmm. Because you can have that. I really fucking hated reading the slog.
They don't.
I know, but like, I didn't like the slog. It was tough. Some of those weeks, I was reading at 3 a.m. before book club because I literally put it off as long as I could. And guess what? Now we're at the Gathering Storm, and I'm so glad I got through the slog because this was one of my favorite books I've ever read.
Honestly, though.
I would not trade the experience of going through the slog for the world because of where we are now. That's the reality of the world. I would finish this series whether you all stopped watching the book club or not at this point. Stop if you want. If you don't like our shit, don't watch it. Yeah. I genuinely don't give a shit. I only want you here if you're having a good time. And if you're not, this is a 3-hour show. We have put out, what, probably 80 hours of Attack on Titan reactions? Why are you spending 80 hours of your life letting me upset you? Fuck off.
Rent-free,
Go be happy. I am begging you, go be happy. Find shit that makes you happy. It's out there. But if you're just mad, coming into my content being like, why are you making me mad? I didn't invite you here. Go do whatever you want with your life.
Yeah.
Live it. Enjoy it. Be happy. Surround yourself with the things that bring you joy. For me, it's this woman and being on the content we make for y'all. That is what makes me happy. And that's why I spend my time doing it. And yes, sometimes I don't like an episode of Attack on Titan. That's fine. Because I am happy watching shit with you. It's what makes my whole life wonderful. We watched Princess Mononoke the other day because our patrons demanded it. Oh my God,
that fucking movie.
Watching that movie with you was a magical experience. I love the content that we make, right? And so I am spending my life doing what makes me happy. Do the same, man. Seriously. Find what makes you happy and go do that. Instead of being here every day being like, why are you ruining my life by not loving a television show that I love? Go be happy. Please, I am fucking begging you. I'm going to keep watching the show with this woman because it brings me joy. Because I feel joy. Go find your joy, man. That's all I'm asking.
I've officially assumed it's because they have nothing better to do.
Melinda Craft!
Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you enjoy my dulcet tones.
Oh, man. We've got Nerdy's going to do a dramatic reading for you guys soon. It's going to be great.
Guys, wait.
And thank you for that super chat. Don't listen to those weirdos dropping in until I love your Attack on Titan reaction since the beginning. You're both really cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emma. I appreciate that.
And we really appreciate that. You know?
Jeremiah Alden, I'll have to watch later. Just wanted to say hi and drop some support. Thank you for that super chat. That's very kind.
Thank you.
Y'all, look at the length.
Y'all are the best. I appreciate it.
Look at the length of this DM I got. This is one message. Sorry, podcast listeners, but podcast listeners, there will be a video of me doing a dramatic reading of this relatively soon.
Just give it a scroll.
Look at the length of this Twitter DM I got. Look at that. Can you fucking believe this? I'm gonna read you the last line. I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. Here's the last line.
Spoilers.
You are so incredibly pathetic that you are honestly not worthy of any more of my words nor my time. Just know that I will forever detest you for your failure and everything you stand for, and that no matter what happens, I will never, ever forgive you.
My favorite thing is it's like, you're no longer worth all my words. 750 words later. Like
Do you want to know why they sent me this DM? Because I don't like Erwin Smith.
Yeah.
They sent me a DM about how terrible I am because I don't like a character in an anime. I cannot wait to read the whole thing for you all because I have not yet read the full thing because I have a life.
Meth, not even once, y'all.
Meth, not even once. Matthew, thanks for joining the Nerd
Table.
Happily leaves a mean comment. Leave a mean comment down below.
Thank you for the comment for the algorithm gods.
Daniel Jennings, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
I like how Claris is awkwardly laughing as if she isn't worse than nerdy. Also, do you know what hate watching is? Watching your reactions is the equivalent of watching a bad movie for the sake of comedy. Thank you for that super chat. That's so kind of you.
Appreciate that.
Go find your joy.
the money is great. It's not rent-free anymore. Y'all are literally paying us to exist in your brain. So I appreciate that.
I need to stop saying rent-free because all of the people who sign up for our Patreon to be mad at us.
They are paying money.
They pay me rent to be mad.
Yeah.
God, I love my life.
I don't pay money to watch shit I don't like. But that's just me personally.
I just love it. I love it because people are like, The weird thing is that people are like, you need to stop watching this because clearly you're not having a good time. And I'm like, do I seem like I'm not having a good time? My life is fantastic.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah, the Attack on Titan fandom is truly unhinged. It's been a journey.
What do you think the Borderlanders want? It was easy to distract us from this question because I don't fucking know.
I know, and that's the thing is, like, maybe going back and reading, there are hints and stuff. Like, I would be able to see some foreshadowing, but right now, it's tough. It's tough.
You should start a weekly show called Hate on Us for Money.
You you can pay us money.
We should start an attack. When we're done, I will do a 12-hour Attack on Titan live stream where I will talk about Attack on Titan all day, and you can come fight me. And I will call it Fight Me, Erwin Smith. And I'm going to get that shirt made that just says anyone but Erwin in the Attack on Titan logo.
Yeah. Yeah. Because why not? I don't know what the Borderlanders want, to be honest. I wish I had, like, a really cool theory about it, but I don't.
Craptacular says, the Borderlanders want to build a wall, and they want the Trollocs to pay for it. Krisu says, both Rand and Egwene fight great battles this book. One is internal, the other external. How do you think they worked as parallels, and what parts did you like or not like about them? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I did not like none of it. I don't know. I really like Gathering Storm. I'm trying to think of like a negative of either of those stories, but I actually think both are handled really well in this book.
No, yeah.
I fucking hate Cat Swain, but you know.
Yeah, but I love the parallels between them. Like, thematically, this book was just so strong.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't really dislike any parts of them.
Someone is coming into our chat typing Timmy from South Park. Is it 2010? Like,
we'd time travel.
Are you still making that joke in 2023?
Yes.
Oof.
Yes.
Oof. Some people's sense of humor, like, they like find one thing funny at like 9 years old, and then they never mature. Those people concern me. I'm like, there are new jokes. There
are new jokes.
South Park has come up with new jokes since then.
Different meme formats.
Yeah, woof. Nadine. Oh, sorry. No, we're still in the middle of a question. The parallels are interesting. I think that's all good stuff. Like, I think, I do wish Egwene's victory could have been a little bit more. I guess I wish Egwene's victory could have been a little bit more her and less reliant on, like, the Sanchin attack. There's a version of it where that could have happened, but even that, like, that is like, it would have been different but not better. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just kind of sped it along. I think she was gonna win. You know what I mean? Like, I think she was doing exactly what she needed to. I think it would have happened, but yeah, I think that the Sanchin just kind of was like a spark that fast tracked that storyline, which I was grateful for.
Tam showing up was the spark that fast tracked Rand's storyline.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, I think they really work as parallels. I think that they are. It was nice to have a book in this franchise, frankly, that was anchored by something like that. Like, the parallel of those two stories anchors the whole novel. And allows The Gathering Storm to feel like a book on its own, as opposed to just being a meander that continues the story, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't really have like an end goal of the book. I also think that Rand's moment, the Veins of Gold chapter, and the buildup of Egwene taking over the White Tower and reunifying it plays out throughout the whole book. Whereas I think that some of Robert Jordan's third acts, which are interesting and huge, like the Cleansing of the Taint, sort of are their own chapter that comes out of nowhere a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, the end of Winter's Heart, like, there's this sort of interesting thing that happens in Farmadding, and then they leave Farmadding around as like, all right, let's go do the thing, and then they go do the thing.
Yeah.
Same with the chapter where Rand goes and fights Samael, where, like, Rand is like, I'm gonna go fight Samael later today, but before I do that, I'm gonna go fight Raven at the end of this book. But before I do that, I'm going to go down to this camp and have this other battle and have this other injury where there's a random thing that happens and then it leads into a big moment.
Yeah.
This was like the big moment was a payoff of the arc of this book. And I think Brandon Sanderson wrote that really well.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. James Gunn, again, really love Peacemaker and thank you for your money. Please keep giving it to us.
Did you just...
Yeah, they paid more money to tell us it was their last comment. It's their last comment, you know.
It's the last comment.
Yeah.
Thank you for your money. I will have great breakfast, brunch after this.
Ooh, yes.
We could do brunch before Spider-Verse.
Brunch sounds good.
Nadine. I'll drink to that. Dude, I have so much company in my head because of that first question.
I know, this is your own fault.
Nadine asks, how many Forsaken do you think are still alive at the end of the Gathering Storm?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Iturralde will do, if anything, once he hears about Rand abandoning Bendariban?
So at the end of the Gathering Storm, we know...
Methany, think about Super Chat. The term you're looking for is Sanderlanche.
Right.
I didn't feel a Sanderlanche. I don't know what that...
It's kind of like... It's when you open the floodgates and a bunch of things kind of come together and it makes for like a beefy section, right? Like every chapter is a fucking banger, one right after the other, and we kind of got that section here at the end of the book.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think the pacing of this novel is really strong in hindsight. I think there's a lot of foreshadowing that is paid off really well. I don't think there was
thing. Like I don't think that that's a bad thing. I just think that like Sanderson has a structure that people have like coined the term Sanderlanche.
Oh, see, I think the structure of this is very similar to Robert Jordan's. It's just stronger. I think that the structure of these books is very similar. I just think that Brandon Sanderson's use of structure is better than Robert Jordan's is, which I've always thought structure was Robert Jordan's weakness, right?
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Methany and Sammy, thank you for that super chat.
Yeah. Deadsy, thank you for that super chat. I don't like your AOT reactions either, but I haven't watched them yet. Well, good.
You know what?
Honestly, don't. Just don't click on them. I don't fucking care. Bazimian brings up an interesting point.
Thank you for the super chat.
And says, someone here is into Findom. You know what, James Gunn? I am sorry. You're right. James Gunn,
Sorry, we don't kink shame here.
You know what? And I should be doing a better job as your Findom. So thank you so much for that money, but the truth is that you owe me more.
Yeah.
You should be a good little boy and give me more money.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're a bad little boy and you'll need to be punished.
Yeah.
So, James Gunn,
spankings are very prevalent here.
That's not going to be your last comment because you owe me.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a good little boy and give me more money, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good boy. Let's move on.
Smart corner game early.
I think James Gunn just got so hard. I do love that he's using James Gunn's name now because it is so much fun to say.
Right? He's
be
like,
a good boy, James Gunn.
James Gunn is like, yeah, go react to more woke Marvel. And I'm like, yeah, sure, James Gunn. Sure, James Gunn.
All right. Dobby 123 says... no. Sorry, we need to answer that question. How many Forsaken do you think are still alive at the end of the Gathering Storm? Demandred, Moradin,
Mogideon, Lanfear, yeah.
That's
Sindain
4.
and Mogideon.
Missana.
Oh, yeah, Missana's still alive.
Asmodean could be alive if he wasn't Balefire, but I don't think he is.
No, I don't think Asmodean is alive.
But that would mean that he was Balefired. Or that the Dark One didn't want to bring him back.
The Dark One is like, nah, fuck that guy. I think so. Excuse me. Rantam Moore, thank you for that super chat. I don't like your reactions to Wheel in Time Season 3 that haven't happened yet. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. It's probably going to suck real bad.
Well, I mean, Shor Ag Shalu is going to be in that season, so.
Who knows if we're doing reactions for Season 3?
I know. I think just those 5, right? Who are we missing?
Yeah, I think that's...
Missana, Demandred, Lanfear... Mogideon, Moradin. I think that's
Halima's alive.
Oh, Halima is alive. I forgot about Halima. Yeah.
Yeah. Arengar.
But Dashiva's not.
No, Dashiva is... Well, actually, Dashiva didn't get hit with Balefire, did he?
Yeah, he did.
He did. Okay, I was like, fuck, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he got hit with Balefire. Because he died using Balefire and it bounced back on him, right?
Was that it?
I think so.
Fuck, I can't remember. That moment was like, wah! But I can't even remember the details. I have to pee so bad.
I think Iturralde is going to surprise Rand actually and not abandon his post. I think Iturralde is going to hear about him abandoning Bandariban, and I think that Rand is going to be surprised by I think that Rand is going to be surprised that Iturralde does not abandon his post, actually. And I think that's going to be what's interesting about it. Project Myrtle says, by the way, why is all femdom pain-based? Can't a guy just get used for sex by some beautiful women? You're not having the right kind of femdom if it's all pain-based. There are many forms of femdom. I am a fan of some of them. I'm not a fan of others. And so, I think that you need to find a dom that is going to work with, what you want that experience to be. Not all femdom is even sex-based, right? You can be dommed in a lot of ways. And I think that what it is that you need to work with a dom that is interested in the kind of things that you're interested in and just be really open and communicative. Domination, submission are very fun elements of sex that if you use with consent and with open communication and with, proper safe words and, making sure that you're safe and effective together, that you both have a great time in whatever it is that you want to be doing. I think that is, it's an important part of life for those people who enjoy it. If you're ace or if you're aro and you don't want to have sex, that's also acceptable too. But if you want to participate in femdom, I think there's a lot of different versions of it. And you just need to find someone who has the same tastes, interests, and desires that you do and come up with a system to do that fun and safely.
What's fun and safe?
Femdom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's your thing, why not? By the way, I would love to go to brunch Sunday, so my PayPal is clarspolaris@gmail.com.
You are not a femdom.
I know. You fucking know that. Are you kidding me?
That's like the thing you're least comfortable with.
I'm like, yeah. Give money now, right here. I'm terrible at it.
I know. Can you imagine how much money we would have if you were comfortable with it? It'd be so much.
Maybe.
Mega K Wags, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Joined late today and just felt like leaving some positivity in here. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Smiled all the way through last week's show. It's because it was a fucking great fucking banger ending of a book.
Fucking crushed it.
Do I want to Google femdom? No, you don't, Christian Rapper. Daniel Jennings, thank you for that super chat. I agree with James Gunn. Trash reactors. You guys really brought the AOT fan base together like a common enemy. But man, Claris is unbearable.
Daniel, you need to give your mom's credit card back. She is not going to appreciate these charges.
No.
Thank you for the money.
Stop.
Sorry.
Stop.
No, keep her credit
Daniel
card.
Jennings, tell me how bad a reactor I am. Come on.
Ooh.
Keep giving me your money. Come on, tell me. Tell me I'm a bad reactor. I'm such a bad reactor, Daniel Jennings. Oh my god, I'm the worst reactor.
Oh my god,
I'm such a dirty reactor. Oh my god, I have a little Attack on Titan on my cheek, Daniel.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'm so bad.
My favorite thing is people are like, you brought the Attack on Titan fan base together, and like it's not true because a lot of people really like our reactions. So
I love my life. I'm so lucky to live the life I live, and people are like, oh my god, you must be miserable. I'm like, what are you talking about? My life is so great.
I think me asking for brunch money works because now we've made like what $40 off of people being upset at our Attack on Titan reactions. So
I'm gonna milk this forever because this is so fun.
Yeah. You know what, Christian Rapper? I hope so, but I don't think so.
What?
Oh,
you have to read the comment. This is a podcast. You have to read the comment you're on.
Christian Rapper's like, are these guys joking? It has to be. And you know what? I don't think that they are. I think that they are genuinely giving us money to be upset with us. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Let's keep talking about the Wheel of Time because this show is we're at the hour and a half mark. We got to keep going. We're not halfway through the questions.
Nah.
All right. So.
We've got where did you leave off at?
Have me for a second. Oh, I said I think the Borderlanders are going to surprise. I think Rodel Iturralde is going to surprise Rand and not give up on the Blight just because he gave up on Bandar Ivan.
I think so too. I think that's the more interesting choice.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with you there actually.
Dobby123 says, do you mind being told which parts of the Wheel of Time series were written by Brandon Sanderson versus Robert Jordan as you read? I don't mind, but I don't believe it. I don't think there is any element of the end of these books that Brandon Sanderson didn't at least edit. And so I think that the Wheel of Time fan base probably is very obsessed with the idea that some of it is pure Jordan and some of it is pure Sanderson. And I don't think that either of those are true. I think that is just speculation on interviews that I don't really care about because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If the story's good, the story's good. And if the story's not, the story's not. Like, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Robert Jordan because I'm not, like, saying that he's a bad writer. I don't think the slog is very good. And I think he wrote some bad books. Yeah. But I also think he wrote The Shadow Rising, which is one of the top 5 fantasy books I've read in my life.
Yeah.
So I don't care, really. It doesn't matter who wrote what word. That's my take on it.
I agree. I think that it's definitely more of a collaborative effort than maybe I had originally thought. You know, people are like, yeah, some of them wrote entire sections of this and this. And I think that, like, even in that case, you still have your editors to go through, right? Like, it's never just one single person, unless sometimes maybe it is, but, like, usually you need that outside eye, you need a perspective, and whether or not that came from Harriet or from Brandon, like, I think that it's inherently more collaborative than we might be giving it credit for. Because even Brandon Sanderson's maybe like, I might just tweak this because of what I wrote previously just to make sure the flow works, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And, like, I think it doesn't matter. If the book is good, the book is good. Yeah. And I think it's a collaboration between two men. Look, if Brandon Sanderson came across as not respecting Jordan and having... If he had a different outlook on it, I would care more.
Yeah.
But because Brandon Sanderson's, from what I can tell, came into this series going, I love Robert Jordan. I love this series. I want to do my damnedest to honor that man. It doesn't matter to me. This is two men working in collaboration to tell a story that I'm greatly enjoying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who wrote which word to me. It really doesn't. I'm invested and I care about these characters and I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here. And so that's just how I feel. You know what? I don't think Brandon Sanderson wrote any words to disrespect Robert Jordan. I bet today he wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just a beautiful collaboration between two men to finish a series that means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. Loadbolt, thank you for the brunch money.
Thank you for that super
Appreciate
chat.
That.
Let's do this.
Gonna have
brunch.
a mimosa, some waffles. It's gonna be great.
Making waffles. All right. Silent Mists says, were there any parts of The Gathering Storm that did not feel like something Jordan wrote or were otherwise different from the previous books? I mean, yeah, but off the top of my there were a few there were times where I was like...
She folded her arms without putting them under her breasts.
Yes.
Was the moment that I knew.
The one where she didn't fold, but they weren't under her breasts.
She just folded her arms.
There were
a normal person.
There were a couple things. The way Brandon Sanderson describes the use of the magic is different than Robert Jordan.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
There's times where he plays with magic systems in a way that I don't think Robert Jordan did. And people say that is very common in his books. So I definitely got that vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
The one power feels different now, but not in a bad way. I like the way Brandon Sanderson writes it.
Yes.
And I like the way Robert Jordan wrote the one power mostly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He definitely talks less about picking, like, Brandon Sanderson does not talk about the weaves as much. Whereas Robert Jordan brought up the weaves a lot.
Fair.
And I have a feeling that Brandon Sanderson, if I could interview him and he was being 100% honest, I think that he would say that he doesn't visualize the weaves the same way Robert Jordan did.
Yeah.
Honestly. So that's one of the things I notice.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
The characters communicate more than I think Robert Jordan ever wrote.
Yeah, I will agree with that one.
Larna, thank you for that super chat.
I can't tell if it's a lowercase L or a capital I, so it might be Larna or Iarna. So
I like your profile picture. This is top tier book club content. Your top tier book club content.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, you.
We're gonna start a Findom podcast where it's just you pay us super chats and we'll just,
tell you to keep giving us super chats.
Yeah.
You could do that on your, and it could do really well.
Yeah, I know, but I'm bad at it.
That might be fun.
Me just like really being like, yeah, give me your money. Like
the uncomfy Findom.
What are you gonna
We should make that a web series. The uncomfy Findom is such a funny idea. Matthew Howard Jr., thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much.
How would you rate your suspension of disbelief to make the Wheel of Time work for you? I'd never suspend my disbelief. That's why I complain so much.
Well, it's fantasy, so the suspension of disbelief is consistent because it's not possible.
I don't believe in suspension of disbelief.
That's not true.
I just believe.
I believe
in fairies, y'all. That's why I clapped so hard at Peter Pan.
Wow, I was not prepared for that.
I hate that scene in Peter Pan so much because the Peter Pan does not break the fourth wall, and then there's just one scene in the middle of Act 2 where you have to break the fourth wall and talk to the audience.
And you're like,
fucking
oh my god, no.
I did Peter Pan at the Fulton Theater in 2019.
Yeah,
and it was the most incredible production. Mark Robin, who's the artistic director at the Fulton, is a master who I'm very grateful for because a lot of my career I owe to him. Yeah. I loved every single second of that production, except for when our poor Peter Pan the curtain comes down and he's like, come on, guys, come on. And on like a Wednesday afternoon, there's one dad who's like,
Yeah.
And then, oh, Tinkerbell's alive because that one guy was the only person who fucking did it. Thanks, you lot, you asshole children.
I hate that.
We did have one show where a kid, probably like a 12-year-old boy, was like, let her die.
Wow.
I lost it.
That would have been me as a kid. I was terrible. But in terms of Matthew's like question, I think that the biggest like suspension and disbelief is a personal thing for me that nobody fucking communicates, and I'm really grateful that I've surrounded myself with people who can communicate because I don't have fucking time for that. But for a lot of people, this not communication thing is a very real, huge part of their life, and so they don't really have to suspend their disbelief that much.
I'm more willing to suspend my disbelief for magic systems than I am for the lack of communication in the series. Does that make sense? I think the
problem is like I genuinely like that's how people in the world interact, and I know that even though I don't like have to deal with it, but it's still
I think okay. So here's my problem with the Wheel of Time. I think that if some of the characters reacted that way and others didn't, I would believe it more. But because everybody is the same, it is weird.
Yeah.
It's like the spanking thing. Because every culture in this world spanks, it makes all the cultures feel weird. Because spanking is just the thing that everybody does, and nobody's different, right?
Yeah.
And like so when you have something like that, that gets more in my way than the magic. I'm not gonna I don't really care how. I'm not gonna super harp on the magic unless you introduce something and it doesn't work the same way later.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you try and make the magic system a mystery, which is like what Attack on Titan does, where I'm like, don't make this a mystery. Just have this work. And then have the mystery be how they feel about it or who's doing what. Like, you don't make how the world works a mystery because then I get frustrated.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Dimitrios asks, if Rand killed Tam, I think that would have been enough to turn him completely dark and destroy the world. So if at the end of the last chapter he used the Chosen Call to destroy the world, making this the last Wheel of Time book, how do you think the majority of Wheel of Time fans would have reacted, and how would you have reacted? I would have been
pissed.
Unsatisfying.
Yeah, that would have been a fucking terrible ending.
Yeah, narratively, that's not satisfying. Whether or not...
It's also the wrong time for it.
I
don't mind if Rand destroys the world at the end of this. That'd be interesting.
Oh,
but
yeah. But
there's so many plot lines that haven't been... Like, why the fuck was Elaine in this? Why did Rand have 3 wives? Why, what, Aviendha ran off to Ruidian and we never get that story? Like, if the book were to end here with all of these... Perrin... I guess got his wife back and then was in flux for a book. Yeah. Matt married Tuon for no fucking reason. It would be the worst. It would be absolutely fucking awful. I would burn the books. I'd be like, this was a waste of a fucking series. If it ends here with Rand just destroying the world because he kills his dad, that would be miserable.
I would have been pissed. You don't have. Yeah. It literally would have been reading 12 books for kind of no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would have hated that.
Yeah, that would suck. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tink Dinkle. Fucking great name. Where do you think Lews Therin's palace is? It's what?
Therin?
It's gone. It was where Dragonmount was, but it's gone now because he destroyed it when he made Dragonmount. I don't understand the question.
Wait, no. No, he didn't make Dragonmount out of his palace.
Yeah, he did. He was in his palace looking at his dead wife, and he went, ah! And he became a mountain.
And then he traveled away.
No, he did it. No, we watched the Wheel of Time Origins. He did it from the spot where his palace was.
In the Origins, I don't think in the books, he steps through a traveling circle. He leaves. It's not his palace. Yeah, he left before he made Dragonmount. I just assumed it was in the Blight somewhere, because the Blight had moved so far in that I just assumed, what if Lews Therin's palace was... No, Lews Therin would have recognized it. I was going to say, what if that was Graendal's little spot? But I think Lews Therin would have...
And then I'm assuming it's gone in the breaking, right? Why would it have survived? Maybe it's in Ruidian?
Well, I mean, things got moved around during the breaking.
Maybe Ruidian.
Oh, you think it could be Ruidian, and that's why it's got all the...
Well, Ruidian is just the only city we've been to that still has a lot of Age of Legends houses.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? Because otherwise, Wait, I don't know, because we haven't been to any cities that have a lot of like buildings from the Age of Legends. Everything's been built relatively recently.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. It could be anywhere, but also like it's not in like
because when Rand went to
Ogier
Viridian, Loose Theron wasn't really that prevalent.
But we know that Lews Therin has been to Viridian before, because that is where the Aes Sedai met at the end of the like the Aes Sedai's stuff was there. When Rand was in his backstory Viridian, there were a bunch of Aes Sedai from the Age of Legends in Viridian.
Maybe. Okay, we know that Moradin has a palace in the Blight. Maybe that's Lews Theron's palace.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. If Moradin is building his like army from Lews Theron's home. I also don't need it to be like, I don't think Lews Theron, it's been so long. Viridian was built post breaking.
It has different like technology. I don't know. You know
Statistically, it's most likely under the ocean. Nicholas Reed nailed it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, I think maybe that's where Moradin's staging his, well, just hanging out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tink Tinkle says, I'm looking forward to your upcoming roleplay relay. What scenes or concepts from the Wheel of Time have influenced you as a player or game master for TTRPGs?
Prophecies. No.
It's influenced me to, there will be no prophecies in the roleplay relay.
I know.
It has influenced me to force my players to communicate more. I'm demanding it.
I mean, I
demand communication.
I think luckily we're all pretty on top of the communication. We're all seasoned TTRPG players, which is nice. I'm glad you're excited for the relay. That makes me happy.
I'm kind of leaving Wheel of Time stuff out of the relay because I want to run a Wheel of Time game either later this year or probably early next year. We'll probably do it in like January, February, March next year.
Yeah.
I want to do like a weekly thing for a few weeks where we play like a 12 session D&D or like probably not D&D. I'll probably build it in a different system. I'm going to look at the Wheel of Time TTRPG. But yeah, I want to keep Wheel of Time concepts out of the relay because I want to save the ideas that I have for this world for the Trolloc Wars.
Fair.
I want to run a game of the Trolloc Wars as an actual play on stream is my goal in the next year.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. So I'm kind of keeping Wheel of Time stuff out of this. But yeah, I think like just the general like Robert Jordan's fantasy world building I think has definitely influenced me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because we know we're gonna do some Wheel of Time TTRPG stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one is probably gonna feel a lot different, and also, well, I guess not that it matters, but not all the players have read Wheel of Time, so it's like, well, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything you took from like the series that you're like, I love how certain things were like handled maybe? I guess it's hard because if you're writing a novel, it's easier to get like that kind of influence, I think. Mm-hmm. But you're not in charge of how the story actually plays out. So
yeah.
That's it's kind of a tough one. Did we launch the Blessed Eye?
Oh no. It's public though. So if you go to the page, it's there.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's there? The shirt.
Guys, happy Pride. You can buy we have a Pride thing. If you want.
Wow. That was so like, I was going to be like, I was going to say like, oh, well, we'll announce it next week then, I guess. But like, oh my God, this motherfucker. Y'all, happy fucking Pride. We're here and we're queer and I fucking hate beer. But we
Wow, that was ridiculous. Why would you say that?
Because I hate beer.
Oh, wait, I can't just open Fourth Wall.
No, you can go to nerdynightly. Wait. What is it?
Okay.
Fourthwall.com or no? Is it nerdynightly there?
No, I don't want the dashboard though.
No, you want the shop. Fourthwall.com.
Wait. Dakuna pulled it up.
Thank you, Dakuna, for saving our asses.
So we created a By Sedai
beanie.
Look
wow, thanks.
That has over here it has the bi colors. With the purple in the middle. You can't see the purple in the middle as much here. And then if we scroll down, we also have the By Sedai shirt. You can see the purple in the middle a little bit better on the shirt there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you want to be By Sedai with us, look at it. Look at how beautiful that is.
Hell yeah.
Look at that purple. Yeah, most of you know, Clarisse and I are both bisexual. pansexual, whatever the term is. But this is
Whichever
the color this is the color scheme I go with.
Yeah.
So in honor of the Aes Sedai, we have the Bi Sedai shirt and Bi Sedai beanie now available in our Fourth Wall store.
Let's go.
You want to be cool like this dude who's definitely bisexual. But yeah, alongside our other merch for Pride, it'll probably just stay in the store forever. But we're launching it for Pride because we are bi and we want to celebrate our sexuality.
Her brows are fantastic.
I know, right?
Look at that.
Look at that.
God damn. Just put her face over my face for the rest of the book club.
All right, next question.
Thanks, y'all.
That is a launch. Enjoy, buy it, don't buy it. Do whatever the
it.
fuck you want. Find your joy. That's the moral of the day. I want you to be happy. I just want everyone to be happy. That's all I want in life.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cast Rob says, in Knife of Dreams, Galena was taken away by the Shido as Tharava's slave. In Gathering Storm, Aleda is taken away by the Sanchin to become Domain. How do we feel about the similarities here? I don't like it. I don't love it.
Yeah, slavery being used as, like, punishment.
For women we don't like is not my favorite thing.
It's not my favorite. Do I think that these women's crimes deserve punishment? Yes. They've done terrible things. Using this woman did terrible things, so we're gonna enslave her, and it is not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
I agree. I don't know.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. But it's not poetry that I enjoy reading particularly.
Sean says Suroth too. Yeah.
Suroth is, well, yeah.
It's tough because I think this series is like, well, but this is like justifiable because they're bad, and I'm like, no, slavery is a moral wrong.
Yeah.
And so it makes me concerned about the like view on slavery that this series has a little bit. And I want to be wrong about that, but we'll see how the final books handle it and what the world after the last battle, how that looks at slavery in terms of like the message of this series.
Yeah. Sorry, the white was just very bright in my eyeballs.
I hear you. Christian Rapper says Galena was about to murder Phyla and her friends, though. I know. Yes. The answer to that isn't magic slavery, where you basically keep someone with no will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and it's also noticeable that none of the men are taken as magic slaves in the series. It's only the women. So it's just a weird, and like a lot of the slavery involves nudity. Like the Dakoval having like the nudity element of that slavery is weird. There's so much slavery in these books.
Yeah.
And it's not really important to the plot at all. It's just sort of like background. And I don't know. It is not my favorite part of the series. It is something I've been saying for books and books and books now. And I don't think slavery is a punishment that is morally righteous in any way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't love it. And I hope that they save Aleda, and I hope that someone saves Galena. I don't think Galena's ever going to come back. I think we just will never hear from the Shido again. But I do hope they save Aleda, because I don't like slavery. Like, I'm sorry if that is my controversial, my hot take. I think slavery's bad.
Yeah, hot take. And
just the way that it is particularly used against women. I don't know. I think there's some elements of this series that are questionable and that I don't like. And I've been honest about that. I've read the comments. I know that some people think that I'm being ridiculous, but like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird, it is a tough conversation that not everybody wants to have. So yeah.
Yeah. The M- says, will Matt read the letter Varen left him? And if so, what do you think will be in it? Yes, he will read it. Matt is a fucking snoopy little boy.
Yes. There's no way he's like, okay, it's been 30, no, he's gonna read it.
I have no idea what's gonna be in it, though. Because Matt has to go to the Tower of Genji. They can't keep putting this off.
No, but I do think...
I will be pissed off if it's another book of Matt side questing being like, I'll get to Moraine.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. Do you think she tells him that she's a dark friend in that letter?
No.
Huh, okay.
I don't think there's value in that. Right?
Yeah.
And if she does, we won't get that part of the letter. They'll skip over it.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what Varen needs Matt to achieve. Like, why Matt? Or I guess it doesn't matter because Varen thought Perrin would be the one to show up, so...
Craptacular says, do you think it's a misdirect and Varen sent nudes?
No, I don't think that, but that would... Oh my god. No, he's definitely going to read the letter.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if Varen has information on the tower.
Zephyrus, an Aes Sedai shirt with the Ace colors of the Ace flag. Oh my god. Wait, what are the colors of the Ace flag?
It's the gray, the light purple, and what? What did you just
Don't worry
type?
about it.
Yeah, it's like.
Ooh, the black. Yeah.
Right?
I could make
cool.
an Ace. I could make an Ace design. It's got 4
Aes
colors, which is a
Sedai?
little bit harder, but
No, but then you can. Yeah, that's fine. That's pretty doable.
yeah, I'll find a way. I like that.
I like it. I'm into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason in my head, I thought it was a lighter purple, but maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
Interesting. Ace Sedai is pretty good too.
That's a good one. I'm into it.
Yeah. They don't all work though, right? Because I don't want to do like Les Sedai. Like that doesn't like.
No.
Yeah, you know what
Ace and Ace Sedai and Bi Sedai, like
It
they
fits.
say, yeah.
But like Gay Sedai, it just
It
doesn't.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
We'll work on some more merch.
But yeah, I have no idea what Varen's letter says. I'm excited to read it though. I just hope it doesn't stop them from going to the Tower of Genji.
I wonder if it has information about the Tower of Genji, though. Like, Varen's brown. She seems like the kind of person to have very obscure knowledge that, like, other people may not have.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
M-Dash has her 3 questions right in a row here, so let's just bang them out. If Demandred is disguised as a character you've already met, who do you think it is? I think it has to be, Tame. I don't think it would make sense for it to be anybody else.
No, you said it's not Tame.
I don't think that it is, but if...
Oh, if it's someone we've met.
I just don't know who else I would buy as having been Demandred all this time, right? I don't think it is Tame, but I think it's possible it's
What
Tame.
if...
I just don't personally think it is.
What if Demandred is... Shit, what's his name?
Sean?
No. What if Demandred is... Fuck. No, he's been... That doesn't make any sense. I was like, what if it's the leader of Faldara?
The leader of Faldara?
Yeah, it starts with an A. He's a cool character, and I just...
Faldara?
Yeah, because we think he's with the Borderlanders, right?
Agelmar?
That's the one.
No, because Moraine's known Agelmar
No, I
for
know.
decades.
I know, and that's why it doesn't work. Because,
They also killed Agelmar in the show, which I don't like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think it's him.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's somebody that we have met, to be honest. If it's someone we've met, then I think it's Mazrim Tame, but I think it's more likely he's with the Borderlanders for sure.
Jonathan Spears, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
They're working on Billy Joel's We Didn't Free the Dark One. He was always turning while the wheel was burning.
I love it.
M-Dash's last question. Which characters are you most looking forward to seeing in the next book, and what do you hope to see from them? Matt. Not a lot of Gathering Storm. Elaine. I want to see Elaine pop out them babes and get back into the story.
I'm sorry, I don't want to see
No,
that.
I just want her to
see that.
be back in the story. Oh, the thing I want most, whole series. The thing I want most, can you guess? What do you think in Towers of Midnight? What do you think is the thing I want most?
For Ren to meet his children.
No.
Oh. Does it have anything to do with Elaine's babies?
No. It by proxy.
You want Ren to meet with Elaine?
No.
No, okay.
It's through Elaine's first sister bond.
I don't know.
I want Avienda's Ruidian shit. I want it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the thing I'm most excited about.
I hope that's
I thought it was going to be the end of this book.
Opening.
I want Avienda in Ruidian so bad. Since she left for that, and part of it is that the first time we're in Ruidian is so good.
Yes.
Right? Like that
Meridian
first
is still my favorite part of the series.
So for me, like the idea of getting to go back to Ruidian because of how solid it was the first time is so exciting.
Yeah.
That I want that. I really want the I want the scene in Ruidian.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And Moraine coming back, I want that. I don't want it to be dragged out for like too long. You know what I mean? I want her to be back by the end of this book so that we get a full book with her. Very important to me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree. I really want Elaine's stuff. I want a scene that's like the three women and Rand all together. Like, I just want them to have a moment all together because they haven't really spent a lot of time with one another since like Min and Elaine and Vanda all got bonded. Like, it's been a moment, and I think that these characters deserve that.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I agree. I do want Moraine back, but Aviendha going to Radiant is the thing I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
Demetrios, if Harriet approached you after Robert Jordan's death to write The Gathering Storm and roughly outlined the major events, how would you have done things differently? I would have said, go hire somebody else, please. For the love of God. I don't have enough. And I'll be honest. I would have been like, I'm not interested. The slog was very tough. And I'm not your guy.
Fair.
I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have written things differently than, like, if you're like, what would you have different with this? I wouldn't have changed this. The Gathering Storm is fantastic.
It's fantastic. And that's the problem. I think it's an interesting question, but I genuinely, like, don't have really any criticisms. I think that this book is phenomenal and that I wouldn't have had it any other way.
That would have been, then, that, and I think we did answer that question, after Knife of Dreams, but that's an easier question to answer then than it is now.
Yes.
Because now I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do things differently. This book is fantastic.
Yes.
There's a lot of different things I would change about the slog, but I don't know that I would change Gathering Storm. I really, 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 really like this book, right?
Yep.
So for me, it's like, nothing. I would have done this.
Yeah.
If I could have written this, I would. If I could write as good as Brandon Sanderson, I would have written this book because it is a very, very good book that I love, and that there's so many moments, there's so many lines, like just individual lines in this book that are just fantastic.
I can't wait for you to write your book.
I can. I'm so nervous now. No, I can't write. No, because I talk about my opinions on the internet, and so I'm gonna write a book, and if I release a book, all I'm gonna hear is, "Oh, so you think you're better than Robert Jordan's slog, and this is the bullshit that you write?" Can you imagine the comments?
Oh yeah, someone's gonna say that.
Oh, it's gonna be awful. I'm gonna get torn apart because I'm so strongly opinionated, and I'm willing to say whatever thought pops into my head on the internet, and then I'm gonna put something out, and it's just gonna be fucking beat to shit with a bat on the internet, and I know that.
But a lot of people are probably gonna love it.
No, everyone's gonna hate it. I'm not talented. I'm ugly and.
Well, okay, all right, stop, hush. I'm not gonna take that.
But people pay you money for those comments by buying your book. I hope so.
That's fair. Not rent free anymore.
I'm gonna write a book that is clearly aping Attack on Titan.
No.
Just to piss off the Attack on Titan people.
You have to write your book under a fake name, and we'll do a book club on it.
That is the most narcissistic fucking thing I could do.
I know,
that
but
would
that
be
would be
so gross.
Hilarious. But you just shit on it the whole time. Like, you just, like, rip it apart. And people are like, wow, you really don't like this book. And you're like, psych, I wrote it. Like, that would be hilarious. Come on.
Sean Ashman says, you have talked about the book's lack of notable setup for Tarmangaden. What are some of the things you'd like to have in the Towers of Midnight that will prepare you for the last battle? For the heroes to lose and have to learn the fucking lesson that will make them better for the final fight. I want the Towers of Midnight to be devastating loss after devastating loss. I want the good guys to go through hell. Well, but they all have to lose. Like, I want everyone to suffer a loss in some way because it is nearing the end, and I want them all to limp into the last battle, knowing that they've learned the lessons of their losses, but they fucking lost. That's what I want. That's what I want. MD Neil, thank you for joining the Narcs for 6 months.
Thank you, welcome back.
Unfortunately, some people are only happy when they're miserable. Not me. I'm happy only when I'm happy. Wow. Then do I have a recommendation for you?
Happy, yeah.
Masturbation.
Yeah.
It's great. Do you have a different thought?
No, I think I would like a loss for sure.
Yeah.
And I also, like I said, I would like some of our major characters to come together and communicate to move forward because they haven't seen each other in what feels like forever.
I agree with that. I would love to see Perrin, Rand, and Matt in a room.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen until Memory of Light, but I think I would love to see those three characters in a room.
Yeah.
Loki asked, should Min have died by Rand's hand? No.
No.
No, that would have had no value narratively yet. In the last book, maybe, but not yet. It would have been a waste of Min as a character because she hasn't fulfilled her arc yet.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it just would have been kind of like, oh, that's really fucking depressing.
It would have been like, yeah, that just fucking sucks.
Although then I would be like, oh, I see where they got Perrin killing his wife from for the show.
Fair. Gia asks, you first met these characters in Eye of the World. Whose journey has been the most surprising to you so far?
Least surprising is Egwene, because I called that she was going to be the Emerald Seat so fucking early.
Yeah.
I was like,
fair,
Egwene gets kidnapped one more time, she's going to be the Emerald Seat, and I was right.
Yeah.
The most surprising, probably Perrin. Probably Perrin.
Perrin is the most surprising.
Yeah.
I feel like he hasn't had a huge journey, and so I don't know.
What are you talking about? Perrin is like running with wolves in the dream world. He's like a military leader. Like
Perrin hasn't had like a huge arc since like the Battle of Emond's Field. Like I think like that was his arc, and now it's kind of just like gotta get Fael back for like ever. For 5 ever, you know?
Yeah, but Perrin reconstituting Manetheren by accident without the desire to do it is surprising.
Yeah.
Perrin's gone on a weird journey. Maybe Matt. Matt was like murdered by... No, Matt's got to be the most surprising. What am I even saying? Matt got memories of his past lives by being hung from a tree by elves. That's the weirdest shit in this whole series.
Yeah, that's gotta be... Nobody could have fucking seen that
It's so normal in
You know
my
what I
brain
mean?
now because we've read so many books since then.
Yeah.
But like, that is the weirdest part of this whole fucking franchise.
Reading Eye of the World, it's gotta be Matt. Like, only having that book, Yeah, it's gotta be.
The weirdest moment of this whole... I went to an alternate dimension, met some snake elf people. They
put some memories in my head.
They gave me a weapon,
really
necklace,
lucky.
and a scar.
Yeah, it's gotta be Matt.
Yeah.
100%.
Matt's been through some weird shit.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Wheel of Time asks, Bed Bond Balefire, Daddy Althor, Daddy Atralde, or Daddy Brian? Do you want to get Robbie in here for this one?
Well, can you open the door? I don't want to sneak around you.
Sure, go for it.
Robbie!
Oh, sorry, podcast listeners.
Robbie, come here!
Guys, welcome. Please give a warm
returning guest.
Welcome back to Robbie, who was here for part of Shadow Rising. I don't remember
subtle.
Which book club that was.
I'm not subtle. I'm mean.
You're
All
gonna
right.
have to-
I'm in a sorority squad.
What's up? All right, Bed Bond Balefire. Do you
Yeah.
understand the concept?
I do now.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Robbie has been on the show before. Robbie has read all of the Wheel of Time, so
Everyone-
no
It's like
spoilers.
an annual thing now, I guess, kind of. Probably a little bit
It
more
was
than a year.
a little over a year.
It was my
Sort of,
birthday.
Yeah, so it was April. That's hilarious.
Robbie, Bed
Yes.
Bond Balefire,
Okay.
Tam Althor, Gareth Brine, and
Or
Rodell
Rodell
Iturralde. The 3 generals.
Yeah.
Oh.
The 3 daddies.
I'm gonna bond Tam.
Of course.
I love Tam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so who are the other two again?
Rodell Iturralde
Odell, okay.
And Gareth Brine.
Brine.
Yeah.
This is hard.
I
know.
know. They're all
It's because they're 3
fucking
banger characters.
bosses,
Literally.
you know?
You can bang them.
Yeah.
Which one are you banging?
Ferdoon says, "Dang, Robbie's kind of hot." Just
Robbie
saying.
is hot. Robbie is a professionally hot actor.
That's my job.
Hire him for your attractive...
Hot needs.
Yeah.
Hot for your hot
I'm
needs.
gonna bed Gareth and Balefire.
Poor
Rodell.
Iturralde.
Rodell.
You know what?
That makes sense.
I
We know that-
the only one of those that I'm 100% on is Tam. God, I love Tam.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We know that Brine is sexually good because he was Morgase's consort for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
A
That's
queen is
true.
not keeping lame dick in the bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're gonna break up with Tom fucking Marilyn,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Who
follow up Tom with good dick.
exudes Sexual competence.
Yeah.
So Gareth Brine wooed Swan, a noted bisexual.
Yeah.
Like Swan could have had any of the hot ladies with
Anyone.
all of their giant titties
Yeah.
from the Aes Sedai,
Yeah.
and
What
she
did they call it?
chose
Pillow time?
Pillow
Pillow
Friends.
Friends.
Pillow friends.
time!
God, I fucking loved it. Oh, am I allowed
That's
to curse?
my-
That should be the
Partner
name
now.
of our podcast.
Of our podcast.
Pillow Time
Pillow
with
Time?
Nerdy and Clothes.
God damn it. Oh my
Pillow
god.
friends. I remember reading that for the first time in the book and I went, that is so funny.
My favorite thing is when we first started the series, we were like, we loved the like queerness that was in the show between like Moraine and Swan.
I love that.
And you know we're reading these books and people were like very upset about that because they were like, no, Moraine and Swan were not pillow friends. Like when we were like at like watching the show, and we were like, oh no, we kind of love this. And then you get to New Spring and they literally kiss and it fades to black. And I'm like, I don't know how much more explicit you could be except getting into the actual smut of it.
Yeah.
So
without going full ACOTAR and being like, and then I penetrated her vagina with my fingers. Yeah. We are lesbians. We had lesbian sex.
We are lesbians. Like, period, new paragraph, we are lesbians.
Yeah.
All right, I want to give you another one. Bedbond Balefire. We're gonna do Rand's three ladies. Min, Avienda, Elaine. Bedbond Balefire.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's tough, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bed, Elaine.
Okay.
Like,
I wouldn't
chill with the
her,
redheads.
But...
Yeah.
That's my
two
thing.
of the three are redhead. What do you want?
That's true. Yeah.
I'm gonna bond. I loved Min. I'm gonna bond Min.
Fair.
Avienda.
Her sense of humor is like concerning.
Yes, but I don't know. I really like
her. I think she's hilarious. I think I would bond Avienda because she's fucking hilarious.
You want to bond the woman who is definitely going to stab someone in front of you at some point in your life.
Well, yeah, she would protect me at all costs.
Your life is not that dangerous.
I mean, it could be in this world.
Oh, no, if I'm in that world, I want Avienda. Oh, no, 100%. I'm saying if they're in our world, I don't need Avienda going around wanting to stab people.
Yeah, sure.
In their world, but
none of the characters in this world would have any transferable skills in our world.
Min can see the future.
Min can read.
Min can read.
That's really important, okay?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
God.
Elaine can read too.
No, I know.
Avienda cannot read. No chance.
Doesn't need to.
She doesn't need to.
They don't have books in the waste.
It's a waste of trees, I guess.
Yeah, they would be like, no, that's good. That's good fire.
I don't know.
Oh, flesh.
Ew.
They're
books.
Yeah, pig flesh was used as.
Oh, I went to human
straight
in my head.
Yeah, there are cultures that have used like you can like dry skin out. You can write on it.
Like leather.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Leather books. Okay, sure.
Yeah, like tanned hide. If you don't have trees, like you could do that.
Yeah.
It would be gross, but like it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird tangent.
You know what? That's how this book club generally goes.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
welcome to the Nerdy Wordy Book Club.
Thank you for your input. That was very insightful.
Before I kick you out of the room, we have a segment in our show that we're gonna do at the end. But we're gonna add a short one right now. Smut Corner.
Okay, great.
If you could add a sex scene into the Wheel of Time, what sex scene would you add?
Yeah.
Some past highlights from the podcast are Parker Posey. In the Age of Legends, having a blow bang with the 100 companions.
Before they all go off to die. Yeah.
Before they go to seal the boar, she just like has one last gangbang with all of the 100 men who can channel.
Great.
Yeah.
It's actually like 117. She's a champ. She fucking takes it like a champ.
She's a champion.
It is a sticky afternoon in the Age of Legends.
Fantastic, I believe it.
So that's a highlight for sure.
I'm trying to remember the other ones, but they're mostly just unhinged.
Arzuk Chef Report. Okay, that's gonna be a hard one for you. I understand. So I'll give you an easier one. How would you rank the books?
Yeah,
this book I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, I love Robert Jordan, and this is the first Brandon Sanderson book that came into the series. It's also the first book after the Slog, which I know, different people have different opinions on.
Yeah.
I actually personally I never really got bogged down by the Slog. I liked all the books.
Fair
couldn't
enough.
tell you like what's my favorite, what's my least favorite. If I had to pick a least favorite, it's probably one of the ones in the middle of the Slog where not a ton happens. But I liked all the books. I do though, and this is probably also partially a recency bias, just because these are the books I remember the most. They're the last in the series, and a lot happens in these last 3 books.
Yeah, we've heard.
I do tend to rank all 3 of the Sanderson-Jordan books at kind of the top of where I like all of the books.
Yep.
A lot of people seem to do that.
Yeah, that's been pretty common.
So much happens, and it's really cool. And I'm also a Brandon Sanderson fan. Full disclosure. So
You've read the Cosmere.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a few things left to read, but I've read most of his Cosmere work. But so just in general, I would probably rank like these last 3 as some of the top of if not my favorite 3 in the series.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Thanks for joining again.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully I'll
Of
be
course.
here with whatever you're reading next year.
You'll be here in a year.
Well, read A Way of Kings and you can come talk about
Great.
that.
Bye.
Yeah, we need to fix this new carpet. I don't like it.
I know.
All right.
It's like curling up on the ends.
All
Anyways,
right.
Thank you to our special guests.
Thank you to our special guest, Robbie, for coming back for his yearly appearance on the Nerdy Wordy Book Club.
for real. So we got to do our bed on Balefire.
What?
For,
I did.
Oh, for Althor, Ituralde, and Brian?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, mine's the same as Robbie's. I'm fucking the shit out of Daddy Brian. I'm marrying the shit out of Tam Althor. And Rodella Teralde don't know him well enough. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly, I gotta be the same.
yeah, it's a good one.
Gotta be the same, for sure.
Yeah.
Wheel of Time also asks, oh, no, wait. No, sorry, we got that Arzu's super chat. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I know there have been multiple conversations about use of Balefire in the series and its supposed consequences. Out of curiosity, what consequence do you think could exist that would viably explain characters' vehemence and reluctance towards using it?
Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
It's too late.
What do you mean?
It's too late to introduce the consequences. They've been balefiring for like a year.
But the problem is that they have balefired individual people. Which, if you that's such a small snag. Whereas if I were to take your T-shirt and I just cut a chunk out of it, right? Like that the whole thing falls apart. And so I think that the consequences are going to be along the lines of the bubbles of evil, like things moving around or literally collapsing or melting away, or like the breaking. Like mini breaking, like fissures and.
I just think that if they were balefiring cities in the Age of Legends, then in order to get to the point where there are like real consequences now, they have to get back to that point.
Well, that's what Rand did.
No, he balefired 100 people. They were balefiring millions. Like the level of difference between what they were doing, and this is the problem with the Age of Legends modern age that this series kind of struggles with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is that if the scale of the magic use was so big back then, and they still got to the point where they went to seal the bore, if we don't get to the same level of magic use, then we can't have more consequences now than they had back then. Or else why, right? Like,
right.
Why are these much smaller uses of the same thing having significantly more consequences?
What if the bubbles of evil have been because people are using Balefire? You know, it starts with the one peddler who sinks in the fucking thing or whatever. Like, what if certain instances of that, like things shifting around, what if that is because of the Balefire?
And so...
And they're like, oh, I think it's just bubbles of evil.
But then in order for that to be the case, in order for that to be the answer, then the books have to reveal that Luce Theron fixed the pattern when he sealed the bore. The answer would have to be that when he sealed the bore, he fixed the pattern. Because either...
Oh, but I know that was well done.
Either the bubbles of evil are the Dark One touching the pattern, or they're the Balefire, but they can't be both.
Yeah.
Right? And like this is where these, because all of this damage is random, it's just random stuff that happens.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Because all of it can just be the Dark One touching the pattern, or all of it can be Balefire.
Yeah.
Or all of it could be a mix, but if you can't tell the difference between what is the Dark One touching the pattern and what is the Balefire, then you never know if using the Balefire is actually a bad thing, or if it's just that, no, it was the Dark One the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
it's just, there's no way to quantify it, and so it's just like, I don't know. If the books can finally set aside what actual consequences might be, then maybe I can get invested. I don't know what those are. I would have to sit down and like come up with it narratively, and I would have to take the time to do that. But like right now, I don't know. I don't know what damage you can do to the pattern, because I don't really the concept of what the pattern is doesn't really make sense to me.
Sure, that's
It's a magic thing.
Yeah.
That is never explored in enough detail. They just say like, oh, the pattern's unraveling, and I'm like, I actually don't know what that means. I go along with it 'cause it's a fun idea, and like it's fun that there's the Wheel of Time. But I don't actually know what the pattern is. You know what I mean? So if the pattern unravels, does the world cease to exist?
Yeah.
Does the future cease to exist?
Yeah.
But is there...
There is nothingness.
Why?
Well, that's why it's like just the epitome of evil. Like
The pattern is what, holding matter together?
I mean, yeah.
But then why is the pattern? Then why is the pattern also like the future? And this is where it gets into like metaphysics. Like the like scope of that is hard to understand. Sure. And so Rand has clearly not used enough balefire to even do what one city of balefire in the Age of Legends would have been.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned about the consequences because we already know that you can use way more than this and the pattern survives. Right? Yeah. Like, we're not at the point where Rand is using to the scale that we know has already been used.
Yeah, so it wasn't like someone balefired an entire city and then existence fell apart. We know that they had consequences for it, but we don't know what those were.
Right. And so for me, it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not that concerned about a couple hundred people. Rand has not yet killed 1 million people with balefire.
Yeah. Glimmer, welcome back to the nerd table. Do you think Min has a choking kink now?
Doubt it.
No. I think it's the opposite.
She's too old to develop a kink. You get those from childhood.
What?
A lot of your kinks are from your early age experiences.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's exclusive.
No, but, you know, mostly. Very consistent.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's just like the psychiatry of it. Like the majority of people's kinks come from their childhood. Yeah, it's why so many people have balloon kinks. How often do you interact with balloons as an adult?
How many people have balloon kinks?
A lot. It's a very popular fetish. There's a whole conventions where people go and watch women pop balloons with their tits. I'm not joking. Like ballooning, I think it's called looning. It's a very, very, very popular fetish. Yeah, it's one of the big ones. It's like so almost as big as feet.
People who are into findom are like, yeah, my lunch money kept getting stolen by bullies. Like,
no, findom is typically like they have too much money, they don't know what to do with it, and so they like having someone tell them what to do with some of the money. It's usually very rich people who like having like money siphoned away from it. That's the whole thing. But yeah,
sure, if you say so.
Yeah. Balloon people, they exist. I'm not shaming. Have fun with your kink, but it probably comes from your childhood birthday parties.
All right. They made you feel happy and wanted, I guess.
This is Wheel Up Time's last question. Do you have any predictions as to which characters will make through the last battle? Is everyone gonna be okay, or will there be casualties? What do you think? I think if everyone's okay, it diminishes the scale and the stakes of what this all means. So I do think there will be casualties. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to predict what those are going to be because because we haven't gotten to the end of a lot of people's arcs yet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. 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 I don't know. Daniel Jennings, thank you for the super chat. I just found out Nerdy got bullied in school. From what? Are you watching our Attack on Titan reactions right now and like live commenting in here? We're not only you're not only giving us money, but also okay. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, I got bullied really bad in middle school because I was very small, and then I got very large very quickly one summer, and I went back to school, and people tried to pull the same shit, and I wasn't having it, and so I got in a lot of fights, and that I started to win pretty handily because I'm not a great person, and if you start a fight, I will try to end it as fast as possible. I did. I was bullied in middle school, and then it stopped happening because I got to be 6'4", and people realized that I would happily take their head and smash it into a concrete wall. So it stopped pretty quickly when I started to beat the shit out of people. That was also when I started to fight more in my hockey games, and that was fun too because I like to win those fights. When people had to stand on a box to look at you in the eyes. Yeah. I did ballet, and so I got bullied, and I got called that F slur that people call gay people, that I'm not going to repeat. It kind of stopped when I hit 6'2", and it stopped a little bit more when I hit 6'4", and when people realized I will happily fight you. I kind of enjoy it. It's not a thing I'm proud about myself, but fighting is actually kind of fun. I think it's the Canadian thing of growing up in hockey, where it's just like culturally fighting. Like I had a hockey coach who taught me how to fight on skates, and that was like a fun part of it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's fucking go. Yeah, 100%.
Daniel, thank you again.
Oh my god, thank you for your money, you fucking loser. This is so funny.
I think we've made like at least $50 off of
Oh, we've made more than that.
Attack on Titan
We've made
fans
a
today.
lot more than that.
This is great.
Well, it does explain a lot.
That's
Was
great.
one of your bullies named Erwin by any chance? No, but you know who
It's
I
not
could
a very common
definitely take
name
in a fight?
Canada.
Erwin Smith.
Well, because he would just like charge headlong into you, and all you'd have to do
He
is
would
like,
run into my fist.
Yeah.
All I would have to do is stand slightly to his left, and
That's
he wouldn't
true.
see it coming because he
wouldn't see it
doesn't pay
coming.
attention.
Yeah. You just are like half obscured by a tree. You wouldn't see it coming.
Anyway, thank you for giving me your money. This is hilarious. I like genuinely think that this is the funny shit in the world. Please keep giving me your money.
Yeah.
To insult, I think that you think you're being insulting. I don't care. Like, yeah, I'm very honest about the fact that I was bullied. That doesn't. You're not hurting me by bringing it up. I know I was there.
It's because they would be very upset by it, so they think you're going to be upset by it, but they just their insecurities are showing through. It's a projection.
No, I was bullied because I went to a school with people who didn't understand that I was smarter than they were and that I had things that I loved. And they were frustrated by that. And those same guys that bullied
Sadly,
me
that's true.
work on oil rigs now and are
Or
fucking
gas
miserable
stations.
and are like, no, I know them. I know where they are.
Oh, you're like,
I literally know what they do. They're drunks who have bad relationships with their wives and don't know how to please women sexually or men sexually, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good because I was kind to people and I treated people with respect. And I grew up and I got my degree and I lived my career that I'm very happy with. And I spent my life being kind and surrounding my life with people who are kind to me. And I have a great job that I love very much. I have a great wife that I love very much. And I'm nice to people. And I take care of the people around me. And I have great friends who fly up from another country to spend the weekend with me because I just want to see them. And my life is pretty awesome. And so, yeah, I was bullied in middle school. And I'm going to be really honest about that because it sucked. And it was terrible at the time. And it taught me how to be a good person and how to treat people well. And now I have a great life and I have no complaints. And you know what? It was a part of my history, but I'm not embarrassed. I'm not scared of it. I'm going to be honest about it. I will talk about it publicly. I got the shit kicked out of me a lot. It stopped happening because I got really good at fighting because I got the shit kicked out of me a lot. It is crazy how good you get when you have to. But I'm not embarrassed. I'm not hurt by it. You can't diminish me by bringing it up because I'm the most honest person about it in the world. And my life has become fantastic because I'm honest about it, because I've dealt with it, and because I've surrounded myself with people who treat me really well. And I hope that you find that one day because it's clear that you don't have that right now. James Ross, thank you for your super chat. I hate that I love your Attack on Titan reactions. Am I doing this right? You're doing great.
That's perfect, yes.
You're doing great.
You crushed it. Thank you for that super chat.
Yeah, you're doing fantastic. All right, next Wheel of Time thing. Gia says, so far there isn't a single male queer character, and the representation of queer women seems to be straight out of the 90s. Can you talk about Wheel of Time LGBT+ and your perspective as first-time readers and members of the LGBT+ community? What makes you pause when you read? What good do you see? And what are things you can't overcome? I don't like that the only lesbians who are over the age of like 20 or the people who continue on with their lesbianism are Galena and
Aleda. Yeah.
This is not a very LGBT friendly series.
Yeah.
The frankly ridiculous notion that people in this fandom have that the women in threesomes aren't gonna be bisexual, that there's no bisexuality in this world is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think Robert Jordan wrote the LGBT characters well. It was the 90s.
It was a different time, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. But I agree with your point about like Galena and Aleda, that they're like evil characters and the only ones who seem to have same-sex partners later in their lives. Like Moraine seems to kind of have the hots for Tom because of that letter, and like Swan obviously has the hots for Gareth, and they're like the good guys. I don't think it's like balanced the best way. I don't think that was taken into consideration. I don't think it's malicious at all. Like, I don't think it was intentional.
No, but I do think it's a failure. Like, I do think that the way it is used is bad.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
But yeah, I think it would be interesting to see more male queerness. I wonder if Robert Jordan was just uncomfortable because he was a male. Like, it wasn't something that he felt comfortable writing about. Yeah. And maybe maybe that is not the case, but I think that there is a possibility of that. It was a weird time. The 90s were a weird fucking time.
But yeah, no, I would love, I love my gays. I love my men who love men. I, have whole series that I read just for that, right? Because that is a half of me that I don't see represented very often. And when I do, like, it's not often represented very well, right?
Yeah.
So I wish there was more of that in a series as large as this. But a lot of the things I love don't have that, right? Star Wars didn't have a gay male character for forever. Yeah. Lord of the Rings doesn't have any like gay male characters other than Gimli and Legolas, obviously. But even that, like, I have to find it in like the between the pages because it's not on the page, and so I don't know. I feel like honestly I've just gotten so used to finding it between the pages, and that's sad. But I am hoping that in what I create in my life that I'll be able to bring more queer men into my stories, and that we talk about this a lot where like we'll watch things that have queer men in them, or just any queer people of any kind. And we talked about this with Battle Scars, where for me, like those characters didn't exist when I was young, and so when I was being bullied, I didn't come out until I was 26 because I was having sex with men, but I wasn't telling anyone that I was having sex with men. Yeah, because I grew up in a place where I was bullied for liking ballet, not even for being honest with myself. And it took me forever because there were just so few places that I could look to for the kinds of relationships that I desired in my head. Yeah. And it was really hard to see that. And even something like Will and Grace, which was kind of like the one thing, was a sitcom. And there was never any like serious relationships. It was always the comedy of queerness, and that there's nothing wrong with Will and Grace. I think that show's fantastic, and I'm grateful for what it means to the queer community 1,000%. But I there were no dramatic movies or serious television shows when I was growing up, other than Buffy, and Buffy was a fantasy. And so like the only places where I was seeing queer characters growing up were in fantastical things that also had vampires. And as much as I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a wonderful introduction to me to my own queerness, the first gay character to come out on that show is the bully. And like, it's an incredible, it's the first teenager to come out on television in history. And Buffy also has the first female kiss on television. There's a lot of wonderful queer representation in that show. And I'm sad Joss Whedon is, the name associated with it now because of what that meant to me as a young queer person. Yeah. But you have to work really hard to find those images that you want to see. And a lot of the places I found those were in fantasy when I was a kid. And we're now getting more stories where you can, like Love, Simon, which I think is really beautiful, or, Everything Ever All at Once, having Stephanie Shu's character be queer. And dealing with the honest difficulty of being queer in a family that doesn't accept that. You have to find that in different ways now. Or it's easier to find that now than when I was younger. And this series does not do a good job of that, unfortunately. But we make a lot of jokes about queerness in this because we wish there was more. Well,
and it's also like we're so open about it and about ourselves because it's like when we were growing up, bisexual wasn't a thing. Yeah. Like, no, like it was, if you were queer, you were gay. And that was it. Like there, it was always like these hard and fast rules and lines and blah, blah, blah. And so, we talk on here and we're like, this is kind of who we are. It's normal. It's cool. Like there's nothing wrong with it. And having more of that representation, even though this isn't like a story, like we're not like characters, having the representation in people that like, like it just in human beings. It's great. And I love seeing more of that online, that people are like, yeah, this is who I am. Like deal with it. It doesn't always have to be like in fiction. Although I agree. I'm glad where it's going. I liked the LGBTQ representation in Willow, even though we didn't love the show, right? Like I was still like very appreciative of that. Right. So
Dan Jennings, thank you for your money. Are you okay, dude? Are you all right? Also, this isn't a sob story. My life turned out really great.
Yeah, I don't think you listened.
Dude.
He's like, my life is awesome. And you were like, sob story.
Yeah, no, I had a rough couple of years. Fuck, that's life. I've had rough years as an adult, not because I was being bullied. I've had rough years. I've had years where I had no money. I've had years where I barely could pay my rent.
Yeah.
I've lived a life of different experiences, and you know what?
So being human.
I'm good. I'm not going into people's videos and giving them money to try and be mean, thinking I'm gonna hurt their feelings. Dude, you can't hurt my feelings. I'm a 31-year-old man. I'm married to a woman that people are like, how the fuck did you pull her? She's so fucking hot. I have money. I have an audience that I really enjoy interacting with. I have a show every Friday morning that is popular enough that Star Wars gets me to come to their conventions to talk about their books. My life is
We got it real rough.
fucking sick, dude. You think you can hurt me by bringing up the truth of my past that got me here?
Yeah. But,
But keep giving me your money, please, because I would like to be rich, and I would like for you to be poor.
In all seriousness, there are definitely some helplines. There's people out there that you can talk to.
Oh yeah, if you are in a position,
You seem to be struggling and trying to find validation in strangers on the internet, and we've all been there. But there are definitely people that you can talk to. I'm sure your friends and family would give you the time of day. There are probably people in your life who love you, so please go spend some time with them.
Yeah.
Just to bring back that humanity.
Colonel Sanders says, now that you know that the Black Aja made up 20% of the White Tower, do you feel that the messed up political social structure of the tower is more plausible, or do you still think it would have collapsed long ago? I don't know. I honestly, like, Varen's whole, like, oh yeah, there's a lot of them, but they're incompetent, just kind of makes them less interesting. Like, I wish they had a better plan.
Well, I think the plan was just to kind of fuck shit up a little bit, you know?
I guess. I don't know. Varen being like, yeah, they're not really good at this was kind of deflated that balloon a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought they had like a stronger plan, and now I'm just kind of like, so the Dark Ones team are really incompetent. They're just doing shit.
Yeah.
Which again goes back to like I need the like the bad guys to get a win in before the final fight, because like it's just kind of sad at this point.
Yeah.
It's just kind of sad at this point. They suck. Like they're really bad at being the bad guys.
Yeah, and I get it. Like we talked about earlier, like Varen's thing of being like, yeah, they're just a bunch of like selfish people. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Just kind of deflates a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think it does make more sense to me personally. Like I think that finding out that the majority of the White Tower are Dark Friends, that does kind of help. Because we talked about this so much. We're like, the White Tower is fucking terrible. Like, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, that they're still around when they're so incapable. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, they had people in there deliberately fucking shit up, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish Varen had been like, there's real danger here. And Varen being like, don't worry about it. Like, they hear all of their names. But, like, honestly, like, even if you like, stuck around, they're really not that good at this.
Yeah.
It just kind of deflated the Black Aja for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, thank you. Welcome back to the nerd table.
If you end up being their waiter at the brunch you're paying for it, they will still tip you nicely. Yeah, we tip very well. I've worked in the service industry for too long not to tip well.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I will never, unless like the waiter or something is like deliberately rude or something,
Yeah.
I'll still cover enough for their tip out because like, well, whatever. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
We've been waiters for long enough that it's not gonna happen. Daniel Jennings, thank you for your money.
Claris, mid-skinny as fuck, Lamau.
You should
Oh no, your insult game is so strong.
Wow.
Thank you for that, Toonie.
Yeah. You know, you could put a little more effort in. Like, if you want to actually try, you could, you know, maybe like, I don't know, ChatGPT, I'm sure could give you some better insights. Yeah.
Got him. Rant on More. Thank you for that super chat. These dollars are to support dislike of the White Tower. Appreciate that.
Rant on More. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I think that it is a bit more plausible that because they were deliberately being undermined. It makes sense, but yeah.
All right,
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Thank you for another question here. With 2 books left, which Forsaken Dark Friends do you think will survive, if any, until the end of the series? None of them. I think they're all going to die.
Yeah.
Because I think when the Dark One dies, don't they all like go with him? Isn't it going to be like the end of the Avengers when they take out the portal? All of the Chitauri die immediately.
Oh, Oh.
Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? That is what happens in that movie. I know. I'm in it.
No, I know. I know, but it took me a second to get there. I was like, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, okay. I hope Asmodean comes back. And he survives.
I will be livid at this point.
And Asmodean tells us
is the one who
He comes back and he's like, it was this motherfucker, you know?
Yeah, I want him to walk in and Rand be like, Asmodean? And Asmodean is like, yeah, this fucking guy killed me.
Yep. That would be funny. Incredible.
In this book, we learned that the sea folk do when a male channeler is discovered, and that they have not changed as a result of the cleansing. How do you think the Aiel would answer these questions if Rand was smart, aware enough to ask the Wise One's clan chiefs the same questions? I feel like they've had that conversation. It was just off page.
Yeah.
I feel like Rand is like, hey, don't kill male channelers, and they're like, okay. We will literally do anything you say at this point, so sure.
Yeah, the Aiel are kind of like, I think that
the Shido are probably still doing it, but I don't think Rand's Aiel are.
Yeah, I'm really interested about how the relationship with Rand and the Aiel changes after the Veins of Gold.
Honestly, I wish they got into it more. I feel like Rand is barely talking to the Aiel these days. Like, they're with him, but Rand...
That's what I mean.
We get, like, one scene with Rourke in the last book. I want more of them.
There is dissent among the Aiel. Like, a lot of them are not happy, and I really hope that Rand takes a moment to address that, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, what will you keep and drop from this book in the Wheel of Time show? Keep all of it. Just all of it. The dialogue of this book, great.
Yeah, just all of it.
The shot of Egwene in the hole in the tower... that's the most important shot. Shooting lightning into the sky, and it's just Gawain's and Swan looking up as Egwene full power just blasting rocket out of the sky. I mean, that shit's gonna be rad.
Yeah.
That shit's gonna be fucking rad.
It's tough. It feels like there's a lot of important shit in this book. It's going to depend on what the show sets up. Yeah, I know, we gotta
move quick.
Yeah, it depends on what the show sets up. I don't think... without having season 2 or maybe 3. I need to get closer to these points in the show to see fair. What could possibly be dropped. Because right now, all of this feels important.
Fair.
Yeah.
What storylines do you want to see in the next book? Ruidian, Tower of Genji. Those are the two I need.
Yes. 1,000%.
What do you think Avienda will relive in her Ruidian coming journey?
Maybe Avienda is the person who sees how to deal with the last battle.
Ooh, maybe Avienda is the one who comes back with the answers to how Rand might live.
Oh.
She's going to be the Doctor Strange. She's going to be like, there's one way.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
There's going to be one way for Rand to live through this.
Yes. That would be cool. But in truth, I don't know.
Ildram asks, Egwene essentially beat Aleda by default. Did you find this satisfying, or would you rather have had the tower pull Aleda down? Egwene had already won, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
It was already over for Aleda. This was just the mechanism of her getting pulled down.
We talked about that the Sunshine were just expediting what was already going to happen, for sure.
Rantamore is asking a musical question. We're going to skip that because I feel like we answered that at the beginning. But Rantamore's other question is, which of the Emond's Field 5 would make the best Jedi? Probably Perrin. Perrin is very centered.
Yeah.
No, Perrin has attachment issues. Perrin has the same issue Anakin has. Egwene. Egwene. Egwene has found center here.
That's true. Yeah.
Egwene is the most peaceful.
Even though she loves Gawain.
But she's happy to walk away from the attachment of him.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think it's Egwene.
Yeah, actually. It's gotta be.
Which Forsaken, if any, do you think is closest to the light?
Asmodean.
Yeah, I think Lanfear.
Really?
Yeah, I think Lanfear's motivations are so selfish, which is inherently not Dark One.
But that's what all the Forsaken are chosen because they're selfish.
Yeah, but I think honestly, their friend was like, "I will fuck you." She would be like, "All right, I'm on the good guy team. Get me an oath rod. Help me get rid of these oaths. As long as I can bone down with you, I'm good." Yeah. Lanfear would give up the Dark One for Rand's dick.
Maybe now. I don't know.
No, the whole time.
Okay.
All Lanfear wanted was that dick. If Rand had just given it to her, she would have walked away from the Dark One in a moment.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I agree with you. Yeah. I don't know if I agree with you, but
he's keeping those 3 very hot, very powerful women happy. He's fine.
Oh, for sure.
Rand's dick could turn Lanfear. I believe it.
I got the power.
Vanessa says, do you believe Rand will have to kneel before the Crystal Throne or all is lost, as the Sanchin prophecies claim, or do you think the prophecies are corrupted by the purpose of propaganda? I fucking hope not, because if Rand kneels before the slavers, I'm gonna be fucking livid.
Yeah. I very much do not want that.
Yeah. If this series ends with Rand being like, I'm actually chill with the Sanchin because they helped me in the final fight, so I'm gonna let them keep doing the whole slavery thing, I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna say no. Rand is not going to kneel. I think that the Sanchin prophecies, like, there's got to be a part that's missing, or something in there should be open to interpretation.
Going off of that, how do you think the next meeting will play out with Rand and Tuon?
Bad? I mean, like, Tuon, like, went in, fucking murdered people, like, stole them as slaves. Like, I don't think it's gonna go well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine that that's a friendly conversation.
I think it depends on what Tuon's experience of, like, Trollocs and stuff is. I could see Tuon being swayed by realizing that...
But she saw the Trollocs head before she ordered the attack.
Yeah, but that was, like, one fight. But, like, we're clearly going to get a big battle around Abu Dar between the Sanchin and the Trollocs. And so I could almost... I could see it being that the next time we see Tuon is from Aleda's perspective. And the Rockin get back to Abu Dar in the middle of that fight. Mm-hmm. And so... We see that, like, the level of Trolloc attack and the level of the Dark One's attack sways Tuon towards wanting to work with Rand more, because she sees the, like, danger. I could see her opinion being changed by that.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
We know that fight's coming, so that's, like, the next thing for Abu Dar, right?
Yeah.
Is this, like, whatever this Trolloc thing that's coming is.
Yeah.
Azatharis.
Thank you for that super chat.
Just wanted to say thank you for everything you do. Thank you. I love hearing your opinions. It counters the hate some channels spew out. Look, we're trying to be positive as much as we can, but we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
We're just not going to be hateful to be hateful. That's a waste of our life.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting. But thank you for that super duper chat. It means a lot.
Dirt Burb asks, I can't remember if one of these has been asked before, but if you could have one Terangriel from any of the books you've read so far, what would you pick? I think mine was the book thing, and I realized that it's just a Kindle.
Yes.
I was like, I just want a Kindle.
That was that we did get that question last time.
Oh my god, that was so stupid.
Yeah,
I just want a thing that holds a lot of books.
The mobile library seems to be
Let me just open the Kindle app on my phone and read all of the Wheel of Time real quick.
Yep.
I felt so dumb that day. Yeah, we want the red rod that makes you come like crazy.
Yeah, those are the two, definitely. Verloke asks, could you rank the Forsaken from the one you like the least as a character? I mean, what plot points and emotions they bring to the story, not how likable they are as a person, to the one you like most. All right, so who brings the most interesting perspective to the story?
I mean, Morden and Lanfear are number 1 and 2 for me.
Yeah, the problem is, like, Lanfear obviously hasn't been around for a while, which is unfortunate.
No,
but I
but
do think
has.
But she's not doing anything. Like, she doesn't interact with Rand. She doesn't interact with anybody. She's just kind of there.
Well, but then none of the Forsaken do.
No, but but I just mean, like, the reason Lanfear is so high is because in the beginning she did that. Like, she was very interesting to the story.
Oh, sure, but none of the Forsaken have been interesting in forever. I thought Grendel was going to be interesting. Grendel was the biggest waste of a character in the entire series.
Yeah.
Like, Grendel never did anything to a major character in the whole series.
It was unfortunate.
Granted, a lot of the women have suffered. Like, well, no, but and the men. Honestly, none of them are that interesting.
Yeah, like, I think that...
when Moradin is the most interesting one, you have a problem.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the one that I liked least was Belal, because we never, like...
Didn't Belal become Deshiva?
He didn't do much. Belal?
That was interesting.
No, that's the other one.
Belasriel?
Yeah. Belal is the one who just got nuked by Moraine, and that was it. Like, didn't really have anything interesting to do. So, Belal is last, and the most...
No, Belthamel is Deshiva.
Yeah, Belthamel. Yeah.
Yeah, Belal is last.
Yeah. So, I gotta say, Lanfear is top for me, personally.
Yeah, fair. Mm-hmm. Fair. And then the ones in the middle, they're all kind of the same. Like, Robin, Samael, and... Robin and Samael are the same
Graendal,
thing. Graendal,
They unfortunately
the one and dones.
don't. Well, they don't achieve much, but I do think that, like, Robin at least, like, fucked shit up enough in Camelin that it was a problem that Elaine had to deal with, and like that was like an unfortunate like set of circumstances.
Robin's consequences were more interesting after Robin was gone than while he was there.
Yes, for sure.
Demetrios says, okay, we're 12 plus 1 books in. Who's dying in the last 2 books? Probably nobody. Somebody's gonna die.
This was kind of the same as a question we got
Rand?
earlier, where it's hard for me to know because I don't like the arcs are not complete for like most of the people.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Tom dying.
No, Tom and Moraine are gonna be happily ever after. She's gonna be sitting on those mustaches taking a ride.
Sure. Sure. Garrett, no. I don't know. Yeah.
Light Blinded Fool, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the
now
super chat.
That Matt and Tuan are in different zip codes, do you think you'll find someone more suited to him? No. I think that Matt is a good man who's not going to cheat on his wife. Should he? Probably, but he's not going to because Matt was raised by a good man in the books. In the show, Matt definitely cheats on Tuan.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the difference between show Matt and book Matt, is that show Matt cheats on Tuan and book Matt does not cheat on Tuan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Who's dying in the last 2 books? I could see Matt dying. I could see it. I could understand it. You know, he's like, you know what? I just don't want to be with that woman. So I'm going to sacrifice myself heroically so I don't have to be with Tuan for the rest of my life. I could see that and I would understand it.
Fair. Or Tuan dies.
Or Tuan. I could see Tuan dying, of course.
That's fine by me.
That is a good one, too.
Definitely good with that. Illusion asks, the showrunners have implied that just because we only saw 8 Forsaken statues in the season 1 doesn't mean there'll only be 8 in the show instead of 13. But if that turned out to be the case, which 5 would you cut? Bilal?
I would mix Robin and Samael into the same character.
Fair?
I would mix Graendal and Mogideon into the same character, because Graendal didn't fucking matter. I would mix Semiraj and Masana into the same character, because they're the same thing, and Semiraj died like she did. So that's 3 gone. I would get rid of Bilal.
Yeah.
Agenor or Belthamel, but I wouldn't have both. Or just cut Agenor and Belthamel and just have Deshiva be a guy who dies and have Halima just be a dark friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would cut Agenor, Belthamel.
It depends on if they...
Samael, Graendal, and
depends on if they
Masana,
want to get
Semiraj.
into the like woman in a man's body kind of thing. As to whether or not I think Agenor gets cut. That's going to be...
They could just cut that whole concept and not want to do it.
That's what I mean. They might just... Because they don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah, but that's what I would cut.
Yeah.
Ash says, how do you feel about Nynaeve and Rand's relationship in this book, especially compared to Rand's relationship with other characters? I don't know. It's not great. I hope it's better in the future.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this change in Rand, the Veins of Gold, affects that relationship for the positive. I want more communication, please. Now that you finished the book, how justified, if at all, do you think Nynaeve's actions and reactions are regarding Rand? I still think that, like, Nynaeve's responses felt very Nynaeve. I know you were frustrated with her, but I think that they're very true to her character.
I think that if Nynaeve wants Rand to go stop Lan from killing himself, she shouldn't have dropped him in the middle of nowhere to go kill himself. I think that Nynaeve needs to take responsibility for her own part in that. And not expect Rand to bail her out from the decision that she made. You
think Nynaeve should have like physically stopped Lan?
I think
from doing what he wants.
I think that Nynaeve should have pointed out the window when Lan went, I want to go be in the fight. And she should have been like, what the fuck are you talking about? Look outside. Where do you want to go fight the Trollocs? Because there's 100,000 of them right there. I think that
is the part that is...
The Golden Crane end of that chapter is fantastic. Yeah. It is. The lead up to it is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
It's a little bit dumb on everybody's part. Because Lan's motivations don't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think it 100% works for me.
Like,
he's like, I gotta fight the Dark One. And I'm like, yeah, that's what is happening right now.
And that's the problem, is that if...
It should have been more geared towards, the Borderlanders are my people and I need to protect them somehow.
No, because he wants to go do it by himself. Lan just wants to go die. And so Nynaeve should have taken him through a gateway to Morel and gone, hey, give me the fucking bond so I can get rid of this dude's fucking sappy bullshit. That's what that scene should have been. Nynaeve can travel. Go get Lan's bond. Why the fuck are we doing this still? You can travel. These characters can teleport, and they never solve their own problems.
Wait, didn't Morel get sent to the Black Tower, or am I thinking someone else?
I don't know where the fuck Morel is.
And maybe that's the problem. We don't know where she
Lan
is.
fucking knows where she is.
That's true.
You can teleport,
Lan should
deal
know
with
where
your
she is.
problems. It would take an hour, maybe.
The
it
bond,
would maybe
yeah.
take an hour.
The bond needs to be, like,
Unbelievable.
resolved.
Joji, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Let's
Thanks
go.
for a good excuse to revisit the books. Also, Poe and Finn forever. Love that. Curious about Nerdy's opinion on Darth Jar Jar and or Chosen One Leia. I don't like the Chosen One prophecy, but I love Leia as a character, especially later Leia with like Bloodlines. If you've never read Bloodlines, very good book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a way you could look at the prophecy that Leia did it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't
you
really
don't
matter to
like
me.
the prophecy in general, so...
Darth Jar Jar is a very funny fan idea that would be the worst fucking thing. Like, even the people who think that they want it don't realize how bad it would be, but I would watch that fan film in a fucking second.
Yeah, exactly. If it was a non-canon thing, I'd be like, let's fucking do it.
Or if Star Wars had a show like Marvel's What If, the Darth Jar Jar episode would be fucking incredible, right? It would be
funny.
awesome. If they ever tried to make that canon in any way, I think the series would collapse. We would never get another celebration again. It would destroy Star Wars. I'm not joking. The people who want it are trolls. The people who think it's a funny idea are great. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
But a what if, like a 30-minute what if episode about it.
I would watch that.
Watch that in a second. I think it would be or like one of those the Lego Halloween special they did last year. If one of the 3 stories in that had been the story of Darth Jar Jar, would have been
my
fucking
God.
hilarious, right?
Yeah,
like there's a place where you can tell that story.
Have
It's
you
just
heard
not in
the tale
canon.
of Darth Jar Jar the Wise?
Yeah, it's just not in canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Light button full. Thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Lan is so bad at dying he couldn't kill himself if he tried. True.
The pattern just wants him to succeed, you know?
Yeah. What's the next question?
We've got...
Stone Sinew
yes.
says, what are you most concerned about going into the last 2 books?
I am most...
I feel like this is just the same question as who do you think is going to die? I feel like we've gotten like 3 versions of this question so far today.
Yeah, and we've also talked about that we're really nervous about the Rand and Egwene interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's...
I am nervous. Yeah. Oh, something we haven't said already. I'm nervous about Min because I feel like the Golem who killed Haradfell is going to be after her. If the Dark One finds out that Min is continuing Haradfeld's work, I'm worried that the Golem after Haradfell is going to be after Min. And she doesn't have a way to fight it. What was the most surprising thing for you from this book? Things happened. It had a plot. It had a novel long plot that was delivered in a way that had structure and pacing. It was shocking, frankly.
Yeah. I was riveted. Like this book like invigorated my like.
That feels so mean, but it is the truth.
No, and like we have acknowledged that Robert Jordan has done some incredible stuff, but the slog was also hard.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this book was truly a breath of fresh air. Yeah, so that's the most surprising thing.
Lord Dice says, how do you think the reign of Aleda was affected by the week she spent influenced by Padden Fane's corruption? It was so unimportant to that I forgot that he did that.
Yep.
That never came back.
Yeah, forgot he was there, to be honest.
No, you're right. That did happen. It didn't matter.
It didn't seem to, at least.
A lot of Padden Fane stuff didn't matter. Like Padden Fane with Pedro Nile. What did that really do to Pedro Nile? Like, that never really affected anything.
No, not really.
Padden Fane is the most interesting character whose plot lines
wasted.
continuously just don't mean anything to the series. It's kind of sad, honestly, because he is a great character.
Yeah.
But like, what did Padden Fane do to Aleda? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, forgot that happened, to be honest.
Is he still there? Maybe. He hasn't been brought up in so long that I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Dobby 123 says, isn't high low technically an insult sandwich since the insults are between the 2 slices of compliments? Shut up. Look, the compliment sandwich is a concept where if you're going to say something mean, you fold it between two compliments so that it comes across as easier. I didn't come up with the concept of the compliment sandwich. Somebody else did. You're right, okay? You're right, but we're not changing the fucking name. We're not changing the way I introduce the segment. We're not doing that.
No, that's fair.
You are correct, technically. Like, you wouldn't call it a bread sandwich and then have roast beef in it. I get that, but fuck off, okay? Calm the fuck down.
It's more of a... fuck, I don't know.
I will quit this podcast, okay? I will fucking quit this podcast. Look, you can bring up that I was bullied. You can make fun of the way that I look. You can say that I'm ugly without my beard. The third one, you are correct. But stop bringing up our segments and, like, bringing logic to them, okay? That is the line.
Logic here.
That's the fucking line, kids.
No logic. Oh, my God.
Do we do smut in an actual corner? No, it's still the smut corner. Shut up.
Could you imagine if we just, like, stood in the corner to...
And just whispered into the wall.
Yay.
We just took a mic with us so they could hear us. Or, yeah.
That's the ASMR segment, actually.
God damn it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's an insult sandwich, all right? I've given Robert Jordan a bunch of insult sandwiches and he
we
liked
have to start doing it opposite, where we start and end with a negativity then.
Shale says, back in the day, there were two prominent theories about Lews Therin's voice inside of Rand's head, the realist and the construct. They sparked a lot of debates, even after the Gathering Storm. In short, the realist suggests that Lews Therin is a real and viable facet personality of Rand's soul, which is...
manifested.
Which has manifested.
Yep.
I was doing so well there. I almost got through.
I know, you're doing great.
But has and is. I fucked up. Manifested due to the taint. The construct suggests that the Lews Therin voice in...
And personality are not real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Rand, emotionally stunted, desperate to harden himself, and receiving memories from the past, has gathered those memories and created the LTT, Linus Tech Tips.
Linus Tech Tips.
Personality to hold them.
Shout out to a great Canadian channel who doesn't need our shout out. They're doing very well.
Yeah. We could use a shout out from you though, Linus. If you could shout out our channel, that would be fucking amazing.
We love you, Linus.
We do. I literally watch all of your videos. They're very good. Even though I'm never going to buy anything that you talk about. I just like to learn about tech. You jump into the time machine and go back to those times. Which side do you take, and what are your three best or more arguing points about it?
Wait, no, that's a different question.
No, it is the question that is related to the answer, the information above it. Now that you've finished the Gathering Storm, you jump into the time machine and go back to those times. Which side do you take, and what are your best three arguing points about it?
Oh, I understand. Okay, sorry. That I win again. Linus Tech Tips. Can't. Okay. Oh my God, I can't.
I think that neither of those are correct. I think it's a mix of both. That's my point. Boom. Lawyered.
Here's the thing. I am still at a point. We had this discussion extensively last week. I am still at a point where the Veins of Gold moment doesn't quite land for me. And I think I want to go, like, reread it a little bit. Because I honestly, like... I wasn't fully in, and so I genuinely, like, don't know how to answer that, because I am not sure how things happened and what and how I feel about the things that did happen. Like, it's still a bit muddy for me. You know? Like,
I like that chapter a lot. So, I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both.
I think it's fair that it can be both.
Yeah. Sonic Sean.
Take two.
34. I am dyslexic. With all that you know, wow, we're getting to the end of the show. My brain is stopping being great at reading.
With all that you know currently, how would you, as a hypothetical showrunner or magical book editor, change the story by cutting or consolidating plot lines to make a better one?
That's too long a question for the end of the show. We will answer that later in a video by itself, because that is something I do want to eventually do a, like, what I would have done season 1 video.
We are going to be talking about that alongside the show stuff. So
yeah, we'll get to that one, I promise.
Many videos dedicated to that question. It's a great question.
With how much influence the Dark One has in the world, while still mostly sealed in the bore with only his small toe sticking out, do you view it as believable that people in the Age of Legends could have a prolonged war against him and his forces when he apparently wasn't mostly sealed away? I don't know.
I mean,
you're talking about, like, the scope of things that, like, the Age of Legends doesn't really make sense to begin with. So, like,
there was different technologies and stuff. Like, they were doing some funky things back then.
But, like, were, like, the insides of helicopters moving around? I like the Dark One's whole, like, I move the rooms around thing is so goofy to me. it's fun, but I find it to be very silly, honestly.
Yeah.
When they're like, "Oh no, my bedroom's in a different part of the castle," and I'm like, "Sure."
Got him.
Oh no, the Dark One's so evil.
Yeah.
He moved the bedroom. I do like that Nynaeve had to make a gateway to get out of her room.
I know, that was very funny. I mean, to be fair, Leanne almost like died by like melting bars, right? So like, man.
Yeah, the Dark One's really like more like a hazard than he is a danger.
Just a safety hazard.
The Dark One is as dangerous as potholes at this point. So, like, I don't know.
Wow.
What? Am I wrong?
Do you think the Wise Ones should get some comeuppance for colluding with Cadsuane? Wow, comeuppance for colluding with Cadsuane against Rand, since they did it full force, unlike Min and Nynaeve, who only reluctantly allied with her due to lack of options.
I think that the consequences for them haven't come yet, because I don't think Rand knows yet. But I think that once Rand finds out, he's going to be pissed. I think the Aiel are all going to suffer because of that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be upset.
Unless Rand comes out with a different personality next book. We'll find out. But I don't think Rand knows how deeply the Aiel are working with Cadsuane yet. So I don't think the consequences should have happened yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ferdawoon, Smut Corner is a warning. Not safe for work is a warning in case you want to move this last.
Oh, he's warning you that this is smutty.
Dude, we're past the 3-hour mark on this one. I don't give a shit.
I was going to say, there's only one other question, and we can end with a smut one.
This might be my confirmation bias, but the Smut Corners have mostly been lesbian or straight action, and with Robert Jordan's fascination with bosoms, I feel a bit left out as a gay man. There's not a lot of men who are with other men in this series. So, like, I don't want to add smut that doesn't feel like it's consensual within the world. And so there's very few.
I think we did have the like Black Tower orgy with the Tame and all of his people.
We did do that one.
You know, so I think that's fair that there's not a lot of men who are all together.
Rand is surrounded by women.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Rand is surrounded by women and is in a like we haven't done a lot of smut corners where Rand fucks people who aren't his 3 people, because we don't create smut corners where Rand cheats. We have weird rules for Smut Corner.
That we
like,
didn't even talk about.
We will... Oh, no, I know, but you and I are the same. We're like, we won't create people cheating. We don't, like, try and stray people too far away from their stated sexualities within the books very often. Unless it's group stuff, and then it's, like, goes bananas.
And then it's fucking, you know, yeah.
But,
yeah.
like, honestly, Smut Corners have gotten harder throughout the books. Like, it was so much...
Yes.
We did a lot weirder Smut Corners in the beginning because there wasn't sexy stuff, but then the books kind of got sexy, and so it's, like, weird for us to be like, and also these people fuck in this chapter where these people definitely fuck.
Yeah.
MD Neil says, Nerdy, please don't
chat.
give up on your writing aspirations. Google the name James Oliver Rigney Jr. Why would I Google Robert Jordan?
Is that Robert Jordan?
Isn't that his real name?
I have literally no idea. But Neil, thank you for that super chat. He's
I'm
gonna
not
write
crazy,
that.
right? If Robert Jordan is James Oliver Rigney Jr. I'm not making that up.
I genuinely have no idea. But trust me, Nerdy's book is gonna get written. He's got this like cool thing, and I want to read it, so y'all are gonna have to as well.
No, I just need to actually like get over the like fear of putting it out in the world.
Well, and also have the time to,
That's true too. The time that I was going to put into writing my book this year is all going into the relay. And the world, the whole fucking world, I built for the relay. Like, that's writing. I built a whole thing.
Yeah. You just we'll put it under a pen name, so.
Yeah, I know who James Oliver Rigney Jr. is.
I didn't know.
We've been reading The Well of Time for a year and a half. You didn't know his name was fucking James Oliver Rigney Jr.?
No, because it says Robert Jordan on it.
Oh my God, you need to go on the internet.
I trust
in
people,
the internet.
okay?
Oh my God.
I trust people.
I love you thought you were going to get me. I thought you were like, I'm going to teach this motherfucker something. I know. I was there when the dark secrets were written. You can't teach me things. I know the answers to the test. I test well. I had a great score on my SATs. It's the only reason I got into universities in the States, because my grades in high school were not good because I did not care.
Y'all, we need you to vote for the chapter split for this book, because apparently it's like very close. So you need to go and vote for that so that we can announce the chapters. Please. So how do we think, this is Ferdawoon's question, so how do we think the guys rank between each other? Is Rand proportional with being 6'4" tall? Oh, I think Rand has a big dick, for sure. Is Perrin sporting a proper 2-handed blacksmith's meat hammer? For Fail's sake, I hope not, because she's not that large. That would be a lot, yeah. Is Lan a shower carrying a thin but long thing to show he's a proper master of it? No, Lan's got girth. Lan's got a rapier. Lan's got girth. All right, if you say so. Lan is breaking Nynaeve open. Well, actually, no. Lan can't have too big a dick.
Because he's fucking Nynaeve in the morning, and then she's going about her business.
Oh, that's true.
So in order for her to be like up and about, he can't be like swinging like.
No, because you can't take like an hour to warm up. Like there's shit that has to get done throughout the day.
So I'm gonna say Lan is working with like 7 inches.
7's still big.
Yeah, but not too. I don't think he's too girthy, but I think it's like 7.
I'm gonna say Lan's got like a.
I think Perrin's a Coke
5
can.
to 6 incher. Oh god.
Perrin's a Coke can. It's like 5, but it's thick. And Fail is mostly on top because she needs to control it. Because like if he just pounded her out, she'd be done for a week.
Oh my fucking god.
You know who I think has small dick energy a little bit is Matt. I think Matt's working with like not the biggest dick, but
he practices.
But he's also not great with it. I don't think Matt gets people off.
That's sad.
I think Matt's got a like 50-50 rate on how often the woman he's with comes. Whereas Lan, 100%. Lan and Nynaeve had never had sex where Nynaeve didn't finish. I don't think Matt can say the same.
No, I think that's fair.
Perrin and Fail have 100% success rate, but it's not because of Perrin. It's because Fail makes sure that it happens.
Yeah. Fail's like, you are not leaving until I come. Like,
and
that's
Rand
not...
has magic.
Yeah, that Rand has magic. That's true.
Colonel Sanders, I think it's adorable that you think that Matt goes down on women. Matt has about as much respect for cunnilingus as DJ Khaled does.
Matt kind of has like fuckboy energy.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, he's hot, but it's like, I don't know if I would do that again. You know, I did it once. It's just fine.
Once upon a time, a friend of mine had sex with another friend of mine, and she did it because he had an insane 6-pack. And she was like, I've never had sex with someone whose body is that nice before. I want to try it.
Yeah.
And then the next day we hung out, and she was like, it was not great. He mostly tried to, like, he's a personal trainer, and she was like, it was like getting, like, personal trained at sex. I did not come, and it was not good. And I think that that's what Matt's sex life is. Matt's luck helps him get women into bed, but Matt gets lucky, but that doesn't mean that he's good at it, unfortunately.
Right, of course. Because he always gets lucky, so he's never had to, like, really put in the work.
60% of the time, they orgasm every time.
God damn it. Yeah, Matt's just got his luck. That's all.
Yeah, Matt gets lucky, but I don't picture Matt being the guy who loves to go down on women.
You know who's just swanging?
Who?
Rodel Etralde.
Oh, massive.
Massive.
It's just, it is.
BDE.
It is so big.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, if you want the gay sex in this series, it's going to be the soldiers. The women aren't there.
Probably.
Although Robert Jordan does make a point to be like, don't worry, every army traveling has a bunch of women there to fuck.
Yeah. We have one more question.
Josh Simcoe, in my opinion, this book had a major change of pace in a good way. How realistic do you think it is for the series to wrap up neatly with only 2 books left? Very realistic.
Yeah.
This series is running out of steam fast, and they need to get to the end.
Well, I think that this this book was a jump start to it. Like I was like, oh, I see where the pacing can be. I see how the structure of this can work. Like this is going places in a good way.
Because it's pointing towards an ending.
Yes.
There isn't a lot of runway left for this story. Mm-hmm. Like Rand has done everything. Like Rand has cleansed the taint, merged the 2 halves of himself. There's not a lot more this character can do. Yeah. He is side quested up. Rand did all the side quests first, and he's going into the final boss. Rand has all of his powers. He has he has Kalendor. Like the runway of Rand not fighting the last battle was tapped out a few books ago. Honestly, I was sick of hearing about the last battle like 3 books ago. This series has not done enough to give me things to get interested in. I need the steam's gone. I need them to be pointed towards the last battle, and they are. This book did a good job of doing that.
Yes, that's fair.
There's not 4 or 5 more books in this series.
No. For a reason.
It's like I would be exhausted.
For a reason, yeah.
They've kind of, you know, the slog kind of feels like the runway in Fast 6. Mm-hmm. At the end of Fast 6, where like the plane is taking off for a fucking hour and a half. Mm-hmm. We're at the end here, and we've got to do it. It's good. And I'm happy we're at the end. I want to be at the end. But
I also don't want it to end.
Yeah,
it's weird. There's a weird
but yeah, no, we're like we've done all the things. We're good.
Yeah. It looks like Dakuna snuck a little last question in there. You're allowed because you're the mom.
Dakuna, you little shit. We forgot to close this I realized.
No, it's closed. Only the mods can access
No,
it.
because Josh. Oh, that was at 12:27 today, not
And then they got
not PM AM.
Yeah.
Um,
Just snuck it in there. Who or what do you think the Dark One is?
Claris Polaris. Final fight. Boof, boof.
It's the final countdown.
Daniel Jennings is the Dark One. With his super chats.
Daniel Jennings.
The guy was insulting us earlier by giving us his money.
I forgot his name.
I mean, he was about as competent as any of the Forsaken. So,
Fair.
I don't know. I don't know what the Dark One is. Maybe it's also Luthera and Telamon at this point. Like, they're like, oh my god, it's a dark mirror of Rand.
It was me!
Bella.
I am the Dark One.
It's Bella.
Fuck off. That is slander.
Have y'all seen the Bill the Pony art for Magic the Gathering? I want that card so bad.
It's pretty fucking cool.
I want that Bill the Pony card, and that's a good way to end our show. If you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below, because the algorithm god is hungry, and we must feed her. We'll do that after this episode. The algorithm goddess is.
Fuck you.
You can follow me. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Pilar.
Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Claris is now going to read the beginning of the next book.
The prologue. I'm sorry. That's aggressive. You okay?
No, my feelings have been hurt today. I'm emotionally devastated because Daniel Jennings gave me $30 to say that I was bullied, a thing that I've revealed publicly and I'm not embarrassed about.
We have a really rough life, y'all.
Oh my god, I'm so sad.
Okay. The prologue starts with distinctions.
Cool.
Mandarb's hooves beat a familiar rhythm on broken ground as Lan Mandragoran rode toward his death.
I was right. The Towers of Midnight are the towers of the fucking Malcurie. I was fucking right, chat. I was fucking right. Suck on my medium average size penis. Do something nerdy tonight. And thank you to our mods.
Yes, thank you, mods. Go buy our merch and
buy Sedai merch.
All that stuff. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.